100%. My phone has been dying like no other.
Hello, everybody. It is time for our YouTube Live, where we are going to talk about Toy Story 4.
Help me up.
This is awesome. So yeah, Julie wanted to invite Benson because, just like in the trailer, the ridiculous part is where he's like, and holding his hand over Forky's mouth. No.
Yes. I am obsessed with Benson.
Poggy Joe.
Seriously, ventriloquist dolls freak me out, but I am obsessed.
Yeah.
I am obsessed. I feel like I need a whole army of them.
Well, and you just need 4.
Yeah. Oh, I love them.
So we are going to get kicked off here talking about the final trailer for Toy Story 4. Let's make sure scoop this way a little bit.
Ooh,
no,
yes.
You're good. You're good. We adjusted some things. Our light's in a different position. Our mic is in a different position. It's literally on top of a Kleenex box because it was transmitting too much audio through the desk. But I found if
what are you talking about?
I found if I put it on here, it was a little bit. It did a lot less. So, you got to improvise every time. I feel like every time there's a hangout, there's something that goes awry. And Poggy Joe, by the way, I did see your comment. It looks like it's lagging a little bit on my side. Let me know in the chat if anything is looking a little crazy for you guys. But I saw your question about Ling 2 that you left on the podcast. And yes, she's been there for a long time. She's done some other great projects. I'll reply with some more information soon. But, of course, before we get going, we have to talk about some special guests. We are often joined by Mr. Dan, the Pixar fan. And so, Dan, go ahead and say hello as usual.
Hello, I'm just happy to be here.
All right, that's easy enough. And so if anybody happens to not know who Dan is, he does a personal website where he talks about all of his Pixar memorabilia that he owns, as well as some occasional store hunting and things like that he does, but it's all, of course, Pixar related.
Mm-hmm.
And other people are asking, who is this other person?
Yeah,
they're like,
who's the new person?
Who's this other person with with Peter crying in the background?
Oh no, you can hear that. I'm so
and
sorry.
It's totally fine.
I was like, is that Leo?
No,
Oh, yeah.
no, but because it's earlier, because you're in Arizona, right, Jonathan?
That's right. It's 7:00. His bedtime is 7:30 to 8.
I know.
We'll
I
hear
know.
all about it, I'm sure.
Yes.
So
I was going to ask you guys if Leo's just fast asleep already, or
well, it is already 10 here, so he's
okay.
luckily
There you
sleeping.
go.
Yeah, he fell asleep 20 minutes ago.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say 10:00 doesn't mean anything. He could be
Correct.
No, it's...
right away.
Correct, yes. But so for anybody that doesn't know Jonathan,
Oh, sorry.
you probably know of him in some way or another, because several years ago he made a splash on the internet, including was on local news channels and everything like that. As him and Jesse, the duo of JP and Beyond, JP squared, JP and Beyond.
That's yes, both.
Yes. They created the live action Toy Story where they took and you describe it. You describe
okay,
what
I was just waiting for you to tell them. Oh, that's great. So that's our claim to fame is live action Toy Story. We've had to explain it so many times. The shortest way is full-length live-action remake of the animated original movie Toy Story with real toys, real kids. If you are a Toy Story fan, you probably come across it at some point. So that's our claim to fame, and I'm just happy to be allowed on your show, actually.
Well, to throw this out there, so if anybody doesn't know their channel, I mean, obviously, if you don't know Dan, go to danthepixarfan.com. But what is your official YouTube handle? What's the name on YouTube there that you guys have your channel? Is it just JP and Beyond?
Yes, JP and Beyond. You got it right the first time. JP Squared is our talk show. We do random games or quizzes or just talk about a story from our life. So that's JP Squared. And then JP and Beyond is the whole channel. We do sketches and all sorts of things. A lot of things have to do with Toy Story. It's just because that's what we love, and people keep asking for it. So Toy Story keeps making its way back in. And yeah, we just love making videos, and so have to keep doing it. We try to do it every week, so subscribe and then stay subscribed when we don't do it every week, because this last month or so has been just packed with so much stuff that
that's how it goes.
We get it.
We're all there.
So we're not working. We are working on stuff.
Cool.
It'll just be better because, yeah.
I love it.
Taking
I love
longer,
it.
it's better.
And I watch all of your guys' stuff, just as an
Thank
FYI.
you.
So
Aw.
this is, and I even listen to the podcast and everything.
Yeah.
So-
Wow, you're one of the 5 people?
Yeah,
Wow.
you bet. And I am, Liam Lee says he wants a shout out, and he says he is subscribed to them all as
And it's his
well.
birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Happy
and-
birthday.
The Incredicar fan films, JP and Beyond in this. They made a remake of Toy Story. See, there you go.
There we go. Hang on. Liam Lee says he's been working on a video for our contest. I almost forgot all about that thing.
Oh, your summer video contest. Yeah.
Right. So
you
we've
guys.
hosted a summer video contest we skipped last year because we were at Disney World hanging out with you.
Yeah.
But there was
Just Julie.
Yeah.
just Julie. There were the previous 2 summers we had a video contest, so short films. This year the theme is Toy Story, not specifically Toy Story, but a story about toys. It could be Toy Story. So
Yeah, I love it.
we've already gotten a lot of responses. I was actually really surprised at how fast they came in this year. So
That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
So, Pizza Planet Truck, the official Pizza Planet Truck Marco is
Yo.
here. So he says, of course, yo. He has to say that every time.
that's a requirement, I think.
Or else he loses the truck.
That's right. It's contractual, even though he owns it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we've got a lot of people here that are actually saying that they're making a video for the contest as well. So it looks like you're going to get some more entries here. So that's awesome.
That's a lot of talk. We'll see who actually does it. Okay.
It's a lot of work to do these videos, but
It is.
what do you
Thank
think?
you guys for doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So what do you think? Should we dive in here and talk about this final Toy Story 4 trailer?
The final trailer that was supposed to never happen because the last trailer was supposed to be the final trailer.
Yeah,
Should we talk about that first?
sure. We'll talk about the last thing first, the first final trailer first.
Like the
What?
last one that we talked about? No, 'cause you remember Josh tweeted out, he's like, this is it, guys. This is your final look before the movie comes out.
Yes,
he
he-
said something like the next trailer is
It's a movie.
so many 100 minutes long and it comes out on the 21st.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's got a little
Yay.
extra treat here, I guess.
And obviously, I'm wondering if it was somewhat of a surprise to him too, because he said, I'm really happy with Disney's restraint that they've done
Disney's
on
marketing.
the marketing. Yeah. He talks about the fact that because the marketing team for Disney puts together the Pixar trailers and picks the music and everything. But he said, they had some good restraint as far as not showing too much additional. And I have, of course, as usual, my notes. And everywhere in this little column on the side where there's an N is a little snippet of something that we haven't seen. And at first I was like, oh, there's not a lot that we haven't already seen. There is quite a bit that we haven't seen that keeps popping up in here. I mean, nothing is too spoilery. So I was very happy about that for a final trailer. I think that's
the
cool.
last time that I wouldn't watch the final trailer, but because this one it seemed safe. I felt good about watching it, and I still feel good having watched it. Like I didn't feel like a lot of it's just little snippets expanded from previous shots we've seen.
Yeah.
Not a lot of new story elements at all. If anything, it's more fuzzy now where it's going. I still haven't put the whole thing together, and so I'm really happy with that.
Well, remember that comment about Leo being sleeping?
Yeah,
He just woke up.
Jinxed
So
it. I'm
hey,
sorry.
maybe Leo is old enough to join these hangouts at this point. He's a little man.
so earlier today, and by the way, I got to say hi to a few other people. So Mr. PD Dispost, so welcome. Jared the Winter 79, Alexander Saunders, Messiah Townsend, Alex Delgado. Hello, everybody. Earlier today, just as I buy a little bit of time here in case Julie can swing back in, we were recording one of the last ditch effort posts, which Dan, you had tweeted out, and hello, Jordan Ford, that you had tweeted as well about the Doc Hudson, the Precision Series set of his official playset. So we were recording that, and Leo was all inspired. I had him. So if you watch that video at all,
Sorry, he was sleepwalking. He was walking. He was walking like Benson down the hall. Like
I was gonna say, like,
You're kidding.
Benson.
no,
Oh,
he's
no.
been sleepwalking lately.
Oh.
You just have to put him back in
that's
bed.
I mean,
He sleepwalks all the time. You want to hear some funny stories? Pull up a chair. I've got a couple hours to fill.
yeah. So we won't get into all of them now,
No, we
but let's
won't.
just say the worst scenario is that I actually, when we lived in an apartment before our house, I left the apartment. I
Walked out
walked
into
straight
the middle of the
outside into the
street.
parking lot.
See, that's out of control, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's too much. Like, I'll say something funny in my sleep sometimes, or my wife will. As you know, we've played you those like sound snippets of her sleep talking, but never have I like got up, especially left the house. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're still with us.
I tried to escape a hotel room when I was staying there once too, but luckily that little door latch thing, like when I went to go open it, it slammed into that and stopped the door from opening.
Oh, good.
Around,
Well, you could have been lost like Forky out there.
I would have just been wandering around the hotel and eventually been like, "Oh my god, how do I get back to my room?" So,
Could have been a fun story though, at least. So.
believe me, there are some fun stories because I woke up yelling one night too in the hotel.
Next time.
Yeah.
The neighbors called and asked if I was okay. So, anyways, besides night terrors,
Yeah, where were we?
so we were talking about the trailer itself. So we were basically just getting into it. We were talking about, you know, the fact that Josh Cooley said that this wasn't going to be anything that was out there. But look at that. It's there. Ariella Ortega is asking, what about those Toy Story 4 Child's Play posters? So those things are insanity. And have you guys seen those as far as the Child's Play, the movie that's coming out with Chucky at the same time?
Yes.
It's the same day.
Same
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Right.
I saw a Slinky Dog one today.
Yes, where
is there
they're
more
like,
than
Another
there's
one?
one that's with Woody, right?
I only saw the Woody one
That was
initially.
the
Yeah.
first. Yeah, Slinky's a little more gruesome, actually. I think they should have just done their joke and then let
Yeah.
They took it too far this time.
Yeah, they did because they were roasting like half a Slinky Dog over a fire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, we won't pull up that image. We'll stick with that.
Oh, I'm definitely not pulling up that image. So, but you know, I mean, in Child's Play's defense, they've been the people that have been like trying to push that limit for the longest time. I can tell you right now, I can already envision Disney has sent the cease and desist letters. I'm sure those have already began, but
that could be why they did the Slinky Dog one, if we're being real.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, they probably got it for Woody already. So this particular trailer opens up with the quintessential question of Forky saying, "Why am I alive?" And then it kicks right into that thing where we talked about last time that I said I think that the whole reason for Woody being or Forky being created is to have Woody tell the story that he had to explain essentially and find out for himself. So he's now saying, like, just like he did to Buzz, you are a toy. He just doesn't say it with like his emphatic way that he said it to Buzz, but he still says, you're a toy. So I thought that was kind of cool that it kicks right off with, why am I alive? Well, you're a toy, and sets up like what we're going to see and talk about. Did you guys have anything just from the intro or anything like that?
No.
No,
Not
it's
particularly.
Similar stuff that we've seen, because since the last trailer, there has been a bit of TV spots. There's been some behind the scenes looks, Disney Channel sneak peeks, international trailers. So there's been still all that in between, and a lot of this is part of those same sequences. But the whole creation of Forky from the school to kind of his introduction there in the room, I'm just really looking forward to that whole sequence in full.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing we usually do first as well is we usually ask what people's thoughts are about the trailer. You know, so what were like your initial reactions? Like if you were going to say, is this one like a 1 to 10 kind of scenario? Where do you put this one? I saw some people, like even like some of the bigger YouTubers that do the trailer reactions, that said that they were extremely thrilled with it, that thought it really achieved and reached its max. So if like you guys were going to say what your initial thoughts, or even you guys in the comments, I say Christian Knight is saying, so good. And by the way, I think I typed hello to Pixar Superfan 8695 or Lara, but I wanted to say hello as well. But yeah, Christian is now saying 10 out of 10 all the way. Liam said they loved it. But what did you think, Julie, on your first listen? Like, where do you put this one?
So I really enjoyed it. I think I actually might have enjoyed this one more so than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I already kind of am used to seeing the first one because we talked about it for, so long.
Right.
But this one kind of, like, I was like, what's next?
Right.
What's next? It kind of like whet my appetite to see more. I mean, I know you've seen a lot of the film, but this one got me really excited about it. And I think it's because we saw so many different characters in it. I mean, this was like the first time, besides that Duke Kaboom commercial that they released, this was like the first time we really saw a little bit more of Duke Kaboom. We saw them like right before he's going to do like a stunt with Woody.
Right.
You saw, Ducky and Bunny again. I know we've already seen that clip.
Yeah.
With the fluff.
There's so much fluff. Yeah.
But then we saw Ducky and Bunny kind of do their plush rush.
Yeah. Oh,
and fun fact, Aaron Hartline told me that Victor Navone is the animator behind that scene.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
He commented on it.
Wow, look at that.
So
that's really cool. Yeah, the plush rush. That one was. It was funny. I ended up tweeting it out and used that hashtag. And,
did you? I didn't even notice that.
Absolutely. And then Josh Cooley ended up doing it afterwards. A couple other people. But if you look at the history, right here, hashtag plush rush first.
Goodness.
I do like it matters.
No, it does.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it. I'll take credit for it. But that's really cool. So yeah, Aaron Hartline, he was, as he told us last time, he was watching along. Maybe he's here again, but he was the character lead for Benson and his gang as far as creating their walk, where they kind of like
just walk like a zombie. I know last time I made a Benson shirt.
That's right.
Because, it wasn't Benson. It was more of his henchmen because they had the black bow ties.
Right.
But I am obsessed. Like this scene where he had his mouth all quirky.
We talked about that. When it kicked off.
I loved it. So yeah, I enjoyed the trailer as a whole. Before we get into the scenes.
Yeah.
What
absolutely.
about you guys?
Yeah. What Dan? What did you think of the trailer here?
I obviously liked it a lot. I feel like this time around, it's definitely a different feel. The first trailer was more they set up the story, they set up kind of the comeback of Bo and kind of how her and Woody meet in the antique shop, and it kind of goes through the beats of the first, I'd say like the first act or two of the story, and they really kind of focus more, I think, on the emotional aspects of the film. This one was just flat out fun. I feel like this one was more meant to introduce the new characters and to just show you like this is going to be a fun ride. So I don't know if I like one more than the other. I feel like they're just good companion pieces. I feel like they go good together. They both have different aspects that I liked a lot. Because in the first one, we didn't really get any aspects of Duke Kaboom or Ducky and Bunny other than like a shot or two. It was really focused on Woody, Forky, and Bo. And I liked how this one expanded that quite a bit. I feel
like the first trailer was like storytelling, and this trailer was kind of supplemental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I was saying like that. I almost feel like I got more of the story from the first one. This one seemed more hazy to me because this one, the first trailer seemed like the story beats were kind of stringed together as the film is kind of gonna progress. This one seemed more sporadic as far as what clips they showed. So you couldn't quite piece as much together, which I liked.
Yeah, for sure. I like that a lot, and you're right. This one was definitely just the fun angle of it.
Yeah.
And then we're getting a request for please give Liam's best friend Xander Hershey a shout out. So, and then the Incredicar Fan Films is asking if there's a post-credit scene or an epilogue in Toy Story 4. I actually don't know. I couldn't answer it if I did know, but B, I can't because I didn't actually see the ending of the film.
I'll put money that there'll be during the credits, there'll be some kind of epilogue, kind of like Toy Story 3. Pixar loves doing kind of the end credit epilogue stuff like Inside Out did, and many of their films have done it, where you just get kind of little snippets of where the characters are after the film.
Yeah.
And I could totally see them doing it, so
yeah.
I'll say so, even though I don't know.
Yeah.
What about your thoughts on the overall? We kind of have to circle back to you, Jonathan. What were your overall thoughts on the trailer? Anything else that wasn't kind of covered?
Yeah, I guess. So I just vividly remember watching the Toy Story 3 trailer. I don't know if it was the last one, I guess. And just not being able to breathe. So, so in comparison, I loved the scenes in this one, but I had a little more composure, I guess.
Maybe it's because you're older and a little more mature.
Maybe. Let's go with that. Let's say that's
there you go.
I guess what stood out to me the most was because I only watched it 10 minutes ago for the first time. I had so much restraint, guys. I went all day at work and didn't watch it. Came home, still didn't watch it because I was just busy. That's, like we said, life. But so the only thing I knew about was your GIF, whatever you want to call it, with the plush rush, like you said. And I was worried because if it was only that, I don't think I would have liked it at all. So they did we'll get to it. I'm sure it's the end of the trailer, but the whole, it reminded me of Up, like he drops Russell and it's like, no, we're not going to do that.
Right.
So that was like, oh, good. They're not going to do that. Cause there's so many things like that's one example where they could have gone like totally crazy, but they're not. So like, it's like, don't worry guys, we're not going totally crazy. Right. So yeah, I mean, just the feel of it, I think was great. Number one thing I liked the most, I think, was seeing Bonnie's dad. We get to hear Bonnie's dad. So we'll get to all these things later. Just overall, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was 100% necessary. I mean, I'm going to see it regardless, but I think there's a lot of people out there that it's just, they need to remember that it's happening. And especially there's all the push for Aladdin. And now we need to like remind people, oh wait, there's another movie really soon. So from Disney. Yeah. So I think that was kind of the reasoning behind it, is we need to like remind people who might have forgot. So yeah, I think it did what it needed to. And overall, I enjoyed it. I'm excited to watch it a few more times and really understand.
Exactly.
Or go through it with you.
Yeah, so we'll end up sharing some clips of it here in just a second. I'm writing myself a note at the end of this. I want to talk about the credits because we did talk about the epilogue thing, but I want to talk about that a little bit. I think there's something else that they should do there, and I'm sure other people can kind of figure out some of that right now. But we're going to hold on that. Somebody else also asked us, do we see all the Pixar movies when they come in theaters? Are you kidding?
Yes.
Yes, of course. We go multiple times. I will see it.
Actually, kind of crazy story, but our first movie date was Toy Story 2 back in '99. So yes, we've been together for 20 years. But we always see the movies back to back. So we see it 2 days in a row.
Right.
Since Toy Story 2.
And then not only 2 days in a row, but I will see it. Sometimes I've seen them 2 times in the same day. Like Cars 3, I saw it one morning in 3D, and then I went that evening so I could see it in IMAX. And then I loved comparing different theaters just to get different vibes as far as their sound and their visuals.
And Dolby Atmos now.
And then Dolby Atmos. So I always got to do those theaters too. So yeah. So we definitely see them a lot of times because I have to do my analysis. One time I don't take notes, then I do one where I take notes. Then there's another one where it's like, we go with the family. I usually go at least once by myself.
He always goes once by himself.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
So,
but you didn't have to do analysis back in Toy Story 2. You just did it because you liked it.
Oh, we just did it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Right.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. But now it's multiple times. It was only
Since 2012, he's been going more than twice.
Oh, yeah. We were in Chicago when Brave came out, and we were like, we got to go.
We saw Brave twice in Chicago.
We saw Brave twice in Chicago because that was the first city that had a Dolby Atmos theater, so I had to go see that.
Yeah.
So anyways, in Christian, did I watch A Bug's Life? Yes. I was I was already out of high school when Bug's Life came out. So yeah, I went to the theater and saw Bug's Life.
You
I was also
graduated.
there. I vividly remember seeing A Bug's Life in theaters and on VHS, and I had the Heimlich VHS cover because they had the multiple covers
Yep.
of the different characters.
You graduated high school in 95 when Toy Story came out.
96.
Oh, oops. Sorry. I'm aging him.
Yeah.
I was like 5 years old, and I also remember watching A Bug's Life in the theater. So yes, definitely big deal.
Yeah, it was. All right, so let's talk about this one. So actually, what Jonathan had brought up was about seeing Bonnie's dad in a little more detail. Now, we saw him in the last one, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in a second. Application window, and you guys tell me that. You guys tell me that this all comes up here. So we've got the beginning. We already kind of talked about this. I'll zip through this part because we've seen some of
the lighting and kind of the haziness and the magical feel of that of Forky's creation, especially kind of like that close up of his face. It just has such a quality, a magical quality to it.
Yeah. Well, he's just being born, so it's like he can't quite see right yet. He's
exactly
in focus.
Like the beginning of Inside Out.
That's that's true because when our son was born, he had the crazy eyes at first, like because they can't focus on anything, so they're all over the place.
But you know what I love, and I didn't really notice it right away, but the necklace that Bonnie's wearing, like that homemade kid necklace.
Oh yeah, she got the bracelet too.
Yeah, but this is the first time I really took notice of it, and I think it's because how many of these necklaces do I have that Leo's made me?
Oh, for sure.
Wear, and I was just like, oh, it's just something I just noticed.
Yeah, I have one just like that where it's like the wooden pellets, like the wooden beads.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I have some from when I was a kid too.
Yep. Oh, I'll throw one thing in here real quick. In the last version of the trailer, somebody had done a whole thing saying that they swore Boo from Monsters, Inc. was in the background. I just want to let everybody know that was officially debunked by Jonas Rivera. That is not a thing. It's not there. So unfortunately, the theorists aren't going to be able to get excited about that one. But yeah, the lighting here just so ridiculous. How she interacts with him, I can't say anything, but how she's interacting with him is great.
Well, so the necklace again for a second. Is that the same one she had at the end of Toy Story 3? It's very, very similar if it's not the same. I just remember it well because when we also did the ending of Toy Story 3 in live action for a school project, and I had to find one. So yeah, it might be the same one.
That's a good call because I actually don't know that. But that's a great question. I would kind of assume so because you see her with the same backpack.
Yeah,
she's got a lot of the same things from there. So I kind of would think so.
Probably.
By the way, Marco, again, Pizza Planet Truck, is saying that Forky bokeh. Yes. So the bokeh is, for anybody that doesn't know, is the out of focus area behind him. And you can always see it's like these, the telltale soft focus.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This whole
the ghost orbs.
The ghost orbs, yeah.
I didn't know there's a technical term for it.
Yes, bokeh.
Oh, yeah.
Forky bokeh, to be
Forky bokeh. So, all right. So we've got, she's writing Bonnie on the bottom, brings him home. We saw this last time. He says, welcome, Forky. He falls over. Eye pops off, lifts him up. I've got all the questions. We saw that before.
Oh,
and what?
Marco's looking into the screen caps.
Oh, perfect. Yes,
we've
got Marco that's on the case right now for Toy Story 3. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so moving forward here a little bit, we've got Bonnie being. Oh, wait, we're getting text. We're getting firsthand text details from Marco here. Let me pull this up, and I will actually share this just so that way you guys can see it. This is going to blow your minds a little bit, I think. So here,
hey, that's my job.
That's right.
Just kidding. Marco can blow minds. It's okay.
It doesn't want to do
blowing
it.
minds by we'll see your actual text on a screen.
Yeah. When is my mind going to be blown?
Well, you're right. I pulled up.
We'll just pull up the trailer again. And
that's a bummer. I'll just have to do the whole screen. Can you guys see this?
Yes. I saw it for a second.
Is it back up at all now?
Yeah.
Looks
Okay, so you can see
the same.
Yeah, so it's actually like it looks like some of them might actually be like those like cloth or yarn wrapped.
It actually looks more clay, but there looks like wood.
Oh, yeah, there you
They're
go.
the wood ones.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now you got like the endless mirrors. We're having fun with it. Okay.
So when we established that it's not the same?
No, it's the same.
Oh, it is the same?
Yeah.
Is it the
I
same?
didn't see them side by side.
Okay. Hang on. Well, that's not going to happen. So let's see. We'll just pull it up here separately. And people are Christian saying, "Who's Marco?" He's in the chat. He's the
Pizza Planet.
he's the Pizza Planet truck. And so, as far as the beads, no, they are slightly different.
Maybe it's just maybe it's supposed to be, but they've updated the look and re-edited it.
Yeah, some of them are the same.
Some of them are. It's the same positioning of all the beads. There's literally like one or two that are a different color, but the rest is.
I think it's the new animation and the redesign of certain elements. Like even in the shot of Andy in the last trailer passing Woody to Bonnie, even that's completely different than Toy Story 3. Like Andy's white undershirt isn't showing anymore.
Right.
So they are obviously reanimating and improving things, and obviously Bo looks different and Andy looks different. There's things that look different, so I'm sure it's probably supposed to be the same one, but just kind of an updated take on it.
Yeah, and actually in this scene you can see some of the beads on her windowsill with string.
Where?
Oh yeah.
Oh, over here on this side.
Yep.
She probably makes them all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. She's got like a nice little butterfly net going on here. How cool is it to have this room that has like this ledge that she can put all this stuff on and have like a little fireplace mantle in your room?
Is this a different angle of her room than we've ever gotten? It looks.
We had to have gotten something like this before, right? Like where she's throwing the toys up in the air.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem familiar from this perspective.
Yeah,
I definitely
the lighting.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. I feel like we've definitely seen it between all the different things like Partysaurus Rex and everything like that.
Usually it's like from the toys perspective down on the floor. Like that's the angle that I see mostly. Like in the opening shot with Forky coming out of the backpack, like that perspective is what we see.
Right, or even a kid's angle, and this is almost an adult's angle.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Anyway, I just didn't really recognize it. I'm sure if I looked at Toy Story 3 and looked at it side by side, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's the room.
So
I know what they're doing.
Yeah. So real quick, Christian's asking who's my new favorite character in Toy Story 4, Forky, and you'll see why when you get to see it. He's hilarious. And then, do I like Ducky or Bunny more? That people are asking us that.
Ducky.
Bunny.
I'm just surprised that you know. I know.
Oh, I know.
It's like, do you like Key or Peele more? Is that the question?
I think I like Key better. Because he's also in he does a lot of guest appearances in other shows that I watch, and he is the host. He's the host of a show like Family Feud on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So
yeah, but he's Ducky.
He is?
Yes.
I always see, that's the problem. You're right. How do you know?
Jordan Peele is Bunny.
I like Bunny better, but I like Key better.
There you go.
So I like them both. Okay, so people keep mentioning the Pixar logo is new and is that reanimated. Did you guys notice that at all?
No,
but
if anything, maybe like a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit of a lens flare. If we were watching it real slow like that, maybe. Yeah. It's reanimated because you're scrubbing back and forth, and he never did this before.
It's not reanimated.
That's new.
Okay. Who did the very first, at least rumored, who was the one that did the very first hopping lamp in the Pixar logo?
Was it, I'm going to just take a wild guess. Was it Pete Proctor?
There you go. Yep. So we've got this shot coming in, and he says, who wants to go on a road trip? And she gets like super excited. Me! Okay.
Oh, I love this shot.
You do?
Well, this is a good gag. They've never done this before.
A gag? This isn't a gag. This is watching one of my best friends get completely mangled.
It's great, and he has to like hold his nose and get his, because like the actual Woody vinyl head like that, they're like that, like they have air inside. So it's
Yeah,
right.
I did like that gag, but at the same time, I'm like, who steps on their toys?
That would be a big toy to step
That's a
on.
big toy to step
I
on.
wouldn't do that, but like
Not on purpose, of course, but when you walk through your kid's room, like it happens. It just it happens.
There are definitely casualties, but I'll tell you, if I pull out my Toy Story collection Woody, that is big enough.
Different.
Anybody, that is a big enough noggin on him that you're gonna be like, maybe
you kind of twist an ankle a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But is it weird that my first thing is like shoes on in the house?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Animals, take your shoes off.
That's hilarious.
So I personally, the whole thing here is the fact that, in the recent podcast that we just released, so if anybody hasn't listened to our podcast, go to pixarpost.com, click on the podcast button and listen to episode 66. You'll learn all about the difficulties that Woody is going to face, as well as a lot of the graphic details and Easter eggs. We've never seen Woody with a face like that.
Nope.
I mean, in real life, I've seen his face like that a few times. In the movie,
but as far as the Craig Foster talks about in the podcast, who's the art director of graphic design at Pixar, he said that this is Woody's journey, and he's going to be uncomfortable on this journey. So it's one of those things that it's, to me, this just kicks off that things are not going to go well for Woody.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
was also thinking about just now about stepping on toys. Andy's mom in the first Toy Story with the army men.
That's true. She even breaks it.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I think I just found an Easter egg.
Okay, I'm listening.
I bet those sauce packets
I know where you're going with this.
on his feet, like ice skates or whatever. Right there.
Yes.
I bet they're Poultry Palace. Do you think?
Is that what you were going to say, Jonathan?
Well, yeah, I mean, fry sauce, right? And there's stuff on the ground there too. But
and what's on the ground?
More packets.
Yeah.
Yeah, over
Can you
here.
see them? Can you read them? No, I don't think you can. They're
well,
peeled.
they are. You can see if you look close enough.
You like honey mustard sauce.
That's Dan's favorite line.
I do use that one quite a bit.
Yeah, you like.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Or are they Pizza Planet? Because we know from the Disney Parks mug that just came out that there's a Forky coming out of a little Pizza Planet cup.
Well, and Pizza Planet's written on Forky too.
If they stop at Pizza Planet, I don't know if I'll be able to contain myself in the theater. I will scream and with joy.
I feel like there might be a little nod to Pizza Planet.
Maybe a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay, so I think I personally think because of the purple color, I think it's Poultry Palace. Just because of the purple color.
Because you know more than we do.
Well, I mean, just in general, I just feel like that's the same.
The colors are purple and orange.
Yeah, it's that purple and orange, and I just feel like they're going to be the ones that are there. There was also in our latest podcast too, Craig Foster talked about that there's a sign that's hidden in the antique store in the background that says Poultry Palace as a 1950s sign, like one of those metal signs. But that doesn't necessarily mean that a 1950s sign means that it's going to be here. But
they did just put it at Pixar Pier, so they need to promote it a little bit more.
There you go. So yeah, so the thing that I like here too, if you're doing the standard like Pixar shadows and light thing that they do, where I mean a lot of film does this. What was that, Jonathan?
Oh, a lot of movies. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that same thing. So yeah, they do that where it's like they're playing in the shadows. Things are probably a little bit like okay, but maybe it's making you feel slightly uneasy. And then here, look at that. Woody is he's happy here. He's in the sunlight. It's this nice soft warm glow because he finally feels like he's got Forky under control. But then of course she rips him out and it goes bing straight to the shadows. So now he's no longer like in control of that scenario.
Right.
So
His hands also go bring too. He's gripping it and then he's not gripping it.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be kind of freaky.
Uh-huh.
if it,
Yeah, like his fingers splay.
but
It's interesting how protective Woody is of Forky. It'll be interesting. Like they've obviously bonded really quick, and Woody, I guess, sees how important Forky is to Bonnie pretty quickly in the movie because Woody is really looking after him.
So that's a good question. I don't think that it's necessarily that he's bonded to him. I think it's like, if I go back to my theory of Forky was created to basically kind of unhinge Woody a little bit, because he's going to be like, this is what you have to be. And then by explaining it, he can undo some of his thinking. I think it's more of Woody's trying to control Forky into being what he was, not necessarily that he's bonded. I think he's like, as long as Bonnie's happy, I'm happy. I have to do everything I can to keep her happy, even though he might not be numero uno anymore. But
right.
So
he's okay. Woody's okay with not being the most important, as long as he can just keep everything okay on his level.
Absolutely. Yeah. He wants to keep things nice and calm and cool and collected. And he wants to make sure that, he's got as long as he has some place, he's all right. People are asking about the Onward Easter egg. Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you directly, but I don't know. All I can tell you is that Jonas Rivera said that it's going to be in the film, but I don't know where. That's not a surprise. That's for the next film. They've done that, many years onward. Many years backwards, technically. I know, Dan. Wow. I'm a dad. I can tell dad jokes.
No, that was good. That was a sincere wow.
Oh, thank you. I love this. This is like, just the grab Forky and zip. This is very comedic. That's very cartoon comedic. Just jump in, grab him.
I just love how, the whole idea of Forky and the whole design is he's a very like stiff character.
Yes.
And I just love that about him. He's got kind of wiggly arms, but the whole, he's just a lightweight but stiff character.
Right.
Something that already cracks me up is, and then we've seen this in kind of the toys and in the TV spots, the fact that he always is like gravitating towards the trash and always trying to trash himself. I just find that so funny.
Oh, yes, hilarious. So we saw this last time. I don't think we have too much there. This is cool just because it shows some of the details that they did with the RV here. It's got that old school slider of the temperature where, you don't have a knob or a digital gauge. It's just literally like you go whoosh or whoosh if you want cold or hot. It's awesome.
In my truck.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have what year is your truck?
Mine's 86.
Okay, well, doesn't that just work out? Pixar's year of incorporation. But yes, you have a version of the Pizza Planet truck yourself.
And we'll be taking it to a couple theaters for the premiere. I'm excited. I just don't know the details.
Ah, very cool. Yeah, you'll have to share those out once you know some of them.
Pixar, when it comes to technology, like cars or cell phones or any of that, I like how they always keep it in check. Like they don't ever go too modern. Like they don't keep it with the exact times right now, but then they also don't push it back too far. They keep things as timeless as possible, which I like. With the inside of the car, like it's not too modern and sleek, but it's also not too old school. It's just kind of like it can age. Pixar movies age so well because they don't rely on animating the latest and greatest technology.
Yeah, the other thing that's really cool about it is just in general that adds to, these movies have a very high nostalgia feeling right now, right?
Exactly. That's what I love about it.
And so not only are they doing that with the fact that they're doing another Toy Story, but now you've got the elements that they're using have that nostalgia feel as well. And classic is classic. It doesn't, like you said, if they did like, a car of now, like a design that it looked like now, then in a couple of years it's going to be like, what's going on here, so it's
I remember in the first Toy Story they talked about choosing toys that had already stood the test of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's we're going to be
toys that had already been around, and so they were already timeless, and I think they do that so well. And so many Pixar films, the nostalgia factor across all Pixar films, that's one of the reasons that I always connect so much to them, because I'm a nostalgic person.
Yeah.
I feel like John Lasseter was also a very nostalgic person, so I think that a lot of that kind of runs through Pixar movies as well. And so I appreciate that a lot about all Pixar films.
Yeah, absolutely. It just feels good. I mean, you've got the Woody's Roundup element with the classic Western feel. You've got I mean, even though Buzz was supposed to be like the next generation, that whole wave of toys was already in the 60s, with the space race and all that kind of stuff. So it still was nostalgic, even though it was new.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I just think about, like, for example, Andy's flip phone in Toy Story 3. Like he could have probably had a smartphone by then, but like me, I didn't have a smartphone in 2010. Like, I'm just keeping it back, there's just a lot of things like that. It just works.
Andy's cell phone is exactly the example I was thinking of when I was talking about technology. So spot on, because it's a flip phone, but they design it in a way, because smartphones existed then. They designed it in a way where it's almost it's just a timeless. It doesn't look too outdated, and it doesn't look like too future. Pixar has just this way of capturing just kind of all eras in one, almost kind of like The Incredibles.
Right.
Yeah. It has. Yeah, it's a modernized version of that 60s.
Exactly. And then as far as the cell phone, it's like you don't look at that and be like, oh, that's so 90s, or that's so 2000s. You just see it, and it's just a cell phone.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is also how they do. To me, a lot of it is the music. Because like Randy Newman, what he's doing is timeless stuff. If you think about like some of like the like 90s Disney animation, like I'll do like the Goofy movie, for instance. That is like that is hard 90s. Like when you see that, you're like, okay, the artwork, the graphics, the music, everything is hard 90s. Now don't get me wrong.
Dissing Powerline?
Okay, no. I am not dissing Powerline. I'm just saying we're talking about, Pixar and Disney, and in that time, they were leaning into the current. Whereas, like Dan's saying, their Pixar is leaning into trying to find as timeless as possible with their graphics, with their music, and everything like that. But I feel like the graphics and the music are the two things that really sell the era of a film.
Well, they when other films were going, pop songs and all that kind of stuff, Toy Story took the risk of doing jazz and Monsters Inc., all those kind of jazz was already a very, I would say Monsters Inc. is more jazzy than Toy Story, but it's that aesthetic, and it was already, again, that was already timeless. They could have gone the pop route, but they chose, kind of like when Star Wars came out. I remember hearing in one of the documentaries that it was actually a risk to go full old school instrumental at the time, because in the 70s it was all kind of more of the disco.
Yes, and very synth heavy and things like that.
Exactly. And so actually a risk to go full instrumental score, and look how that has aged. It's one of the best scores of all time. So when you keep things classic, you keep things timeless, they age so much better. Pixar understands that.
Yeah.
Right. Not to even mention that Star Wars kind of set the stage for all these other movies. It's basically a classical score, and it'd be weird to go back to doing like a whole synth score. I mean, it works for things like Tron, but you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, it has its place.
Exactly. It really did set the stage for films to follow. Yeah.
Yep. And that let's just set the stage too. That wasn't just like classic. That's just John Williams.
True.
True.
Everything. I mean, he is the master of theming.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. There's nobody that is ever going to convince me, as much as I love Randy Newman, Thomas Newman, Michael Giacchino, all those people, you're never going to convince me that somebody's better than John Williams. I mean, you don't create the Home Alone theme, the Star Wars theme.
You hear music
Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter. I mean come on.
It's out of control what he was able to do. Like I'm John Williams' biggest fan. And he's in his 90s, and he's still scoring episode 9 this year.
It's wild.
Is he in his 90s or
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That guy's a powerhouse, a beast, and just Whew. Everybody tries to live up to him. But before we go too far with that, too, a couple other questions have come in. Do we know who's scoring the Toy Story 4 soundtrack? Yes, of course, it's Randy Newman. I asked that question of Mark Nielsen, the producer, when I was one of the two producers when I was at the studio, and he said, well, we already knew that ahead of time, but I started talking to him about it, and he's like, oh, we would never do anybody, of course, other than Randy Newman. He is Toy Story. But I do have some other details, but I'm not going to share them here because this wouldn't be the right place.
Yeah. Coming
soon, we're going to have another post about it where we're going to talk just about Randy Newman. I got this little nugget from him, and it was going to be my question in the group session, but since it was so juicy, I kept this one right in the old back pocket or the front pocket since I was going like this here. And I was like, well, that question is not coming up because I don't need every other website writing about that one. So pretty cool stuff coming up. But
what's interesting?
Crazy tease.
I know, right?
Just tell us what the question is, not the answer. Like,
sorry.
No.
Okay. What I was gonna say is, interestingly enough, like we haven't heard anything about Randy Newman's score. Like there hasn't been one little whisper. The last thing we had was years ago in an interview, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm scoring Toy Story 4."
right.
Well, years ago, like
how many things have changed since then?
Exactly. So like we haven't heard anything. Like usually you hear like, Michael Giacchino will post on Instagram that he's scoring his latest film, and but like Randy Newman, we got nothing.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. So that will be cool. And also the other thing I was just thinking of is we've had so many Toy Story shorts and TV specials over the last 10 years, and they've all been scored by Michael Giacchino. I still have trouble. Anyway, it's cool after all these years. I mean, his scores for Toy Story, they're good, but they're not Randy Newman's scores for Toy Story, who originated it and originated the very specific sounds and instruments that is Toy Story. So after all these years, it's going to be awesome to hear Randy Newman's take on a Toy Story film again.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Pixar Fan Films is asking, the Onward teaser, are we going to get it in Toy Story 4? I don't know. What do you guys?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it's going to premiere at D23.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
They used to do it a year out, but that stopped back with Brave and MU.
Yeah, like we kind of talked about, I think that there are too many Disney properties that they own now. So why keep doing all these teasers that are going to step on their own properties when you only own Disney and Pixar and not Marvel and Star Wars and Avatar and all these other things?
It'll be August 24th through the 26th.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably a late summer type of tease, I would say.
Yeah.
It's going to be a D23.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, I'd guess so too.
Which is a little sad because I remember going to watch Tarzan, not knowing Toy Story 2 was coming out, and hearing the squeaks of the aliens come in for that teaser, and I'm spazzing out with my parents like, what? But that'll never happen again. It's, we got to go to D23. We got to wait till it's online.
Well, it's not going to happen again because of the internet.
Right.
Because like
internet back then, I was.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't releasing video trailers. Right. The internet was basically text based. Like,
yeah, you had to go to I remember going to Monsters Inc. People paying to, not me, but like people, Star Wars fans paying tickets. That's when the Attack of the Clones trailer dropped, the teaser, with Monsters Inc. in November 2001, and Star Wars fans literally bought tickets to go see the teaser, and then left.
What a crazy world.
Yeah.
So totally different. Like that's back when teasers would drop with a movie, literally. Now they come online a week before, and then you catch it in the theater still.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't premiere there.
I've seen it 20 times already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do miss those days though.
And that's the thing is they're saying like Aladdin, they're like the Toy Story 4 teaser that came out today that we're kind of diverging from talking about. I'm realizing I'm
sorry.
No, it's nobody's fault. It's just like we're having good other adjacent conversation. But yeah, I mean, like in the years past, it's exactly what you guys are talking about. It would have just came out in Aladdin. Everybody would have had to go see it. But now they released it earlier in the week. Everybody talks about it. It hits TV shows. There's all these other YouTube channels that are going to upload it. Big media sites are going to touch it. So it's just the old days are gone.
Nostalgia.
This one premiered with Good Morning America.
Julie, you asked that on the podcast. I don't think it was.
But you know what? We talk about this every time a trailer releases. It always releases when I'm on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. when I'm at Leo's swim class.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Oh, that does.
I know I wasn't watching Good Morning America this morning.
Yeah. Pixar Freak 1 is saying hello. So hello.
Hello.
Nice to have you in here. Okay, so let's start getting back into this a little bit because we're about to hit the point where we're going to talk about the song, the ELO, Electric Light Orchestra song, which I think Dan, did you comment on that, Dan?
I had not.
Ah, okay.
Just reminds me of Boogie Nights.
Oh, is it in that?
Yeah.
I have never seen it.
Yeah.
So okay, we've got that scene. We got Ham looking over the shoulder. We've seen that in the other teaser.
I love seeing that shot of Andy's room at night. That's definitely from that opening sequence.
What part did I just miss here?
The flashback sequence at the beginning.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, so here, let me just go this way. And then Carburetor County license plate. Marco pointed this out. We had seen that as well. That's actually kind of cool. Yep.
I actually didn't dissect this trailer, so a lot of this is going to be new to me too. Because
I didn't have all the time to go through everything. I mean, people had already talked about, and actually this was in the forum, that this is probably like Peach or some toy from Partysaurus Rex.
A little gruesome, isn't it?
Dried up.
Dried up Peach.
This we talked about last time. It's a Brave. It's their family crest.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
The plate below it looks like Orange Bird.
Yeah, that totally looks like Orange Bird.
The Disney
Orange Bird. Yes.
Can we just talk about how amazing the antique shop looks?
Oh, the antique shop is just.
It's amazing. It's so cool. I want to
How
go
many
there.
props they had in this thing?
10,000.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It's wild. It's wild to think. And in fact, we'll get back to this. Well, it's actually further along. I was going to say there's another shot of the antique shop that is incredible, but this you can't go wrong. It's got that Carnival Vegas light feel, which this is always great.
It smells like summertime. Like when you watch this scene, you're like, oh, it's warm, but it's kind of muggy. It's kind of cool. And you smell like corn dogs and my favorite foods in the world.
Maybe you have shorts and a long sleeve t-shirt on. So it's got a bit of a nip in the air.
A little chill.
Again, nostalgic.
That's yep. Okay, so we've got.
I can't tell you how many pop-up carnivals I went to as a kid.
Oh yeah, for sure. They got the roll call that happens here. Hey, watch it. Let's go help a spork. I'm on my way. He gets launched. We kind of saw this. It's a slightly different.
Right.
Perfectly timed
story because Woody's trying to rescue Forky. Buzz is trying to rescue Woody and Forky, but then I know Buzz is captured or hung up at the carnival later on. So then they're trying to rescue Buzz. It seems like there's a lot of rescuing going on, and I don't know anymore who's rescuing who.
That's true. That's a good point.
I'm all hazy at this point.
Yeah. So, okay, we've seen some of these things. Yeah, Mr. PD Dispost is saying the backgrounds in these shots are gorgeous. Absolutely. This whole film is, you can't really go wrong. This is a Up Tourism poster, one of those, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's a little Up reference there. I read this when I watched there's a screenshot that was released today, and you can see it on our website or in the gallery. Just go to gallery.pixarpost.com and you can look for the Toy Story 4 section. There's a high-res screen cap of this, and it basically says, you break it, you buy it kind of thing. I was reading all those things. We've got Duke. We've got, a little bit more of him doing his, goatee stroking and the smile coming out here. All his poses that we had seen before. Yeah. Ooh, ah, he's posing. Yeah. Ooh, ah.
I just like that the paint on his face, it's not fully on the goatee part. It comes down. It's like the paint's a little off.
Here, we'll go back to it real quick.
I think it's his sideburns.
His mustache?
Right there.
Oh, like the paint comes off the sideburns. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because
and it's like a
that's
little
how
bit
all
in
toys
here.
are.
Yeah.
I like that detail.
Yep. Okay, so
I love those little sticky hand things because we all played with those too.
Oh, I was like, this is genius. When
Yeah.
I saw this, I was like, oh man, don't
Again,
get it in your hair, Bo.
those
Don't get it in your
toys
hair.
that everybody had.
Yeah, everybody had one of those. You'd either get them from school or out of like the
25 cent, like the
25
quarter
yeah.
machine,
yeah.
the grocery store,
Whoop.
or at the skating rink.
There's that skunk mobile we've seen before, and there's a little toy of it too. At
Yep.
Target.
Yep. Okay, so this
there you
line.
All right, you've been waiting for this. Let's
Your favorite shot.
Yeah, first this is great, but I also just absolutely love,
Look at his feet. They're like one's backwards and one's forwards.
oh gosh, I know. It's not bad. It's because he's dragging
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, it's like sideways.
Oh no. Don't.
I just love them.
I know, it's so cool. They're
Hang
cool
on.
yet not.
Mr. PD Dispost never seen those sticky hands before? Just
Wait a minute. Are
let's
you,
go to a
Mr.
grocery store and there's the little things with the twisty quarters. I'm pretty sure most of them exist still. They've never moved or run out.
Oh yeah.
Go and get yourself a sticky hand.
Yeah, but Mr. Petey, if I'm correct, are you not in the United States?
I think he's in the UK.
Is a sticky hand just a US thing?
I don't know.
Probably. We have no regulations.
Yeah, the chemicals in it that are from made in China that are on the bubble that it comes in are probably like, oh, we can't have those in London.
And now I feel like at some point Forky's also missing, and he's captured, but a different time than he was missing the first time.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to that. I was reading Mr. P. He says, "Yeah, I'm British." Yeah.
It also seems like now Forky's also captured by like the antique store characters, but this is separate from the last time he got lost, which was in the RV or out of the RV.
Right. So yeah, so how does he get here?
Yeah, so now and they're obviously keeping him hostage.
It's Woody's fault, you guys. Woody went to save him, but he got distracted, and now he's double lost, Forky.
Yeah. Well, you see, like right here, I presume this is the other side of those plates we were looking at while they were ziplining down here.
Mm-hmm.
So he is in there. I thought at the end when they're saying he's in there, that was just one of those trailer magic things.
Oh, well, maybe they're just saying he's like in the store. But yeah, I kind of took it like he's.
I don't think he's in the cabinet right now.
In that point.
No.
Oh yeah, here it is.
The whole movie is made up of rescue missions.
You're right. Well, that's going to be interesting to see if that's the case. But yeah, I feel like he's like behind.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
It didn't seem like he was in a case.
Oh, wait a minute. I was going to say, are these over here?
Yeah. No, I don't think he's in the cabinet.
Okay.
I think he's up on top of something.
We'll see him later.
All right. Oh, maybe. All right, fine. But yeah, so this is my favorite line of the movie, though, where he's like, "Woody'll save me. I've known that guy my whole life. 2 days."
Oh, I love that too.
Yes. Oh,
Well, first off,
it's
we love Tony Hale.
yeah.
What all the kids say, we stand Tony Hale.
Okay, so yeah, this. Now, wait a minute. He's definitely behind some type of glass here.
Oh yeah, he's
I
looking
think
at,
he's in a window
Yeah,
looking outside.
right.
that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
No, that is it.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
All right.
And who's this girl? Does Woody get picked up like he does in by Bonnie in Toy Story 3, where it's just like some random girl picks him up?
I don't know, but his eyes are not normally like that.
Why does he look so content?
So
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I'm getting like.
Look at the freckles on her shoulder.
And yes, I was going to say the freckles on her shoulder, like, holy cow, their texturing is amazing. Just seeing the edge of her chin here through her shoulder, through the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this was original Incredibles, this would be a solid chunk. You wouldn't see anything through the hair.
Oh, no.
Like,
You're right.
You now have translucent, well, not now, but I mean, like,
Split ends and everything. Yeah, it's great.
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And like you said, yeah, like I'm sure when we see this, there'll probably be even friggin' tiny hairs like on her arm and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which just really sell that. But yeah, who's this girl? He's like happy, yet he's like, uh-oh.
Oh yeah, now he turned out. Oh, at first he was happy.
Okay, he's in something.
Default toy face.
Yeah.
going.
You're right, though. Now
You're right. Now it looks
Because-
like a cabinet.
Look, because there's that same gold strip that was there.
Okay. Okay.
No,
you might
I'm
be
not.
right.
I'm not getting sassy. I'm just. I'm just
No, I
saying.
think
No, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because no, it's curved.
You know, one
Is it?
thing I'm excited to see is
What?
a lot of toys sneaking around when there's kids right there, like they're on the carnival ride, and
Oh
they
yeah.
have to sneak around. We never really saw a lot of that. Like Al's Toy Barn is closed. Like anywhere they go, like people are gone. You don't have to worry about it. Recess is 15 minutes or whatever.
Right.
Well,
Just like the original Pizza Planet was the main time.
Right. And that's like the longest amount we have where they have to sneak. And I mean, the carnival's cool because there's a lot of places to get underneath and hide and have some privacy, but you can still right out the side see those kids. I'm excited for stuff like that, like taking a sprint across somewhere without anyone seeing them, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you guys brought that up because I'm actually really excited for Leo to see this film. You know, he's seen all the Pixar movies. He started seeing the Pixar movies in the theater, starting with Cars 3. But he thinks that his toys come to life
Yeah, same with my nephew.
every day.
Oh,
Like
it's so magical.
every day. And then he talks to him.
Yeah,
He goes over and talks to him,
I
and
know.
he'll tell him to do something.
Yep.
And then they do it
Yeah.
at night.
He's got sticker books, and he'll be like, "Why don't you place a couple of these stickers tonight?"
Yeah. Well, we'll be driving to like the grocery store or like swim class, and he'll just be like laughing in the back seat and like, what are you thinking of? He goes, I wonder what my guys are doing right now. And that's what he calls his toys. He goes, my guys. And it's just like, so when you guys say like, oh, the toys are like gonna sneak around while there's like kids playing, because that's totally what Leo thinks.
Yep.
So I know I'm a lot younger than you guys. I was 5 when Toy Story came out, and I have very, very specific memories of me like leaving my room, you know, after I've seen Toy Story. At this point, this is like post Toy Story, leaving my room and then like waiting and then like opening my door really fast. See if any of them were moving around. Like I still remember that. So even that's like the prime age, 5, 6 years old, where you still have that magic. You still think your toys are alive.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Same here. Almost that exact same story. Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
Gosh, that's amazing. So Derek Bromley is saying, isn't that Harmony, that little girl? It could be. We had heard that there was the vocal casting. There was like a vocal casting that said there's a character. It was an open casting for a character named Harmony. So that's where he's referencing that from. So that very well could be Harmony. It could just be a random little girl. I'll also talk about, this is kind of interesting, that they talk about this again in our most recent podcast. They talk about the fact that Gabby has red hair specifically because blonde hair is harder to deal with. So that little girl having blonde hair and the translucency, they said that a blonde hair on a doll, you would have had to put so much to create it so it wouldn't see through it.
Okay.
That you'd see scalp and all these other things. So they're like, the only reason she had red hair is because we literally were like, it has to be something other than blonde.
Interesting.
So yeah, so just so you guys know, blonde hair, tougher to deal with. And Caleb Hill,
Because Riley had blonde hair.
she's got like a dusty, like dirty
mine?
blonde. It's darker than, I think Riley's is darker.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't see a lot of like very brightly blonde characters. I mean,
Maybe like
Barbie,
Yeah.
right?
Can't really change Barbie though.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
She could be what? Midge. Midge has
her
darker
brunette
hair.
friend.
I think it's her cousin.
Right.
Yeah. But as far as could that be Andy's sister? Mr. Petey just post. Could it be Andy's sister? Could it be? Oh my gosh.
I don't think so.
Molly. There you go. Thank you. Jeez.
She's older now.
Yeah, that's true. She would be much older than that now.
She's always had curly hair, but that doesn't mean she can't straighten it. I'm glad there's Andy in this movie at some point. That, like, if he's young and then we don't see him again, okay. I'm just glad we get to see him at some point. So
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything about what?
About Andy.
He's younger. Well, we've seen him in the trailer. He's young.
Yeah.
So
there you go. I didn't say anything. He said it.
So it could be Molly. That might be too much of a coincidence, but
that would. I don't know. I'm not again trying to be sneaky. I don't know, but I don't think that's Molly.
Yeah.
Either. Toy Insanity says Jesse's going to be mad. There's another Ginger.
I don't think so.
She doesn't seem like the type.
Let's see. Okay, so let's go back to the old trailer here, and we'll get it.
You remember when, I can't remember who it was, like it was either Tom Hanks or Tim Allen in one of those interviews that they mentioned this was like the Infinity War of Toy Story movies.
That's what Tim Allen said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, I wonder what he meant. Like, does he mean like, are we going to see this like huge culmination of these 3 movies? Are there going to be like cameos and things that, like, I'm just trying to like compare the structure of Infinity War and how that was like kind of the culmination of things, and then putting it in a Toy Story aspect. Like, I still don't know what he meant by that, and I'm very.
I have a theory. There's multiple groups of characters that everybody loves that have been around a long time, all doing their own thing that come together.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm.
And that's kind of what I imagine, because I mean, Infinity War, you have groups sort of. There's the Thor and Rocket group. There's the Spider-Man, Iron Man group. So I think that's sort of what that means.
I think it's more along the lines of like, because after that, Tim Allen said it's like one of those like they really are going for it.
Exactly. It was
like he's like they're going for it. It's like in another interview he says like it's like like a devil may care thing. Like they just like they're, and then that kind of ties along with like he has a hard time delivering the lines. So does Tom Hanks. So it's like if that's the case, it wouldn't be like them coming together. Like Infinity War is a lot about like. So is it
the snap?
Right. So is it like somehow related to that?
But then they also said that the ending is satisfying. Josh Cooley, someone said recently that the ending, that they hope that audiences feel satisfied and that it's happy. I definitely have read recently that it was not a sad ending, that it's a satisfying ending.
Right.
So I don't think it will end on like a dire note by any means.
Oh, you know what? So sorry to interrupt, but Lara's bringing up a good point. Pixar Superfan 8695 is saying he meant like as in if it's having vignettes, because he did actually, now that I'm thinking of that, I think he went on like The View after that and kind of expanded on his comments that he had done before, that it's like these groups of stories. So maybe that is tying into like what Jonathan was saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying.
All right.
Well, we'll find out in a month.
That's true. 1 month. I love it.
What a perfect time for this to drop, right?
Oh, I know. All right, so back in the old trailer game, we've got the so much fluff again.
That's one of your favorites. You love that.
I love that. That's vocal acting at its finest right there. Okay, we've got to talk about this moment.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Julie, you're going to tackle it from one angle, and then I'm interested to see if Dan or Jonathan have my angle that I'm going to go at here. But what are your thoughts here? So again, this is Mom. We've got to find him.
Just the panic.
Okay. Yep.
The panic in her voice.
And we talked about that last time.
Yeah. I mean, and then like seeing her mom rush over and just kind of look. I feel like that scene is so real. I'd love to know what they did for reference. Like, did they just kind of act it out themselves? Did they reference, like, whoever animated that scene, did they reference something like from their childhood, from their real life?
Well, I can tell you that
not being able to find
something
that you care so much about when you're little like that is like sheer terror, like just panic.
Yeah, I mean, it's your world. There's a comedian that I like, and he talks about the fact that like parents, when little kids like let go of a balloon, they're like, who cares? It's just a balloon. But like he's like, in your world, it's just a balloon.
I know.
He goes, the equivalent in a kid's world is you losing your wallet. Like then you're going to be like, oh my God. But like a kid losing a balloon is like, no.
Good point.
So where was I going to go with this? The how did they act it out, like for reference? So I know Bob Pauly had said that they had referenced when we were there. Again, he's a production designer for Toy Story 4. When we were there, he said they rented an old school RV, parked it in between the buildings, and like people were coming in and out of it and recording things for reference. So I'm presuming they probably recorded something as far as how
like
that
the
would
moving
go.
the pillows and the blankets and
stuff.
It's like
the hurried
because
and
Forky's
panicked.
small and with Forky, I'm just like, I wonder if he gets like broken at any point, like his feet come off or something, because it's kind of like
his eye pops off at the beginning,
right? But I wonder if like his legs or something, because I'm always like how he's like moving and stuff and how she plays with him. I'm like, oh, be careful with his legs.
Yeah,
I also wonder, was this the first time we heard the new voice actress for Bonnie?
Yeah, isn't it?
Really?
Oh no, I think she did Partysaurus Rex, didn't she?
Somebody else. She did another project, Maddie McGraw.
No, but I thought that is it the same Bonnie as the shorts as far as the actress?
Maybe not.
I thought that it was a new actress altogether.
So yeah, it is Maddie McGraw, but I think this is her first time doing Bonnie. You're right, but could you hear her in any of the other trailers?
I don't think so. Because I remember that stood out to me when I watched that today, but I'd have to go back.
Yeah, I can't recall either. But so let's jump back into this real quick. Oh yeah, sorry. She's got herself a tickle. Here you go. Oh, she's running away. I'll take a sip.
Oh, she gone.
Nice. Okay, so I'll do the old screen share here again. We'll go back to this. So we've got Forky. Okay. Wait a minute. This is what I was going to say on this. Did you guys have any other thoughts on the RV scene? Anything to talk about there?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay, because the part
all have that experience with either ourselves or one of our kids or a niece or nephew. Like
the part that I want to talk about is watch as the parents come hurrying into the trailer, how they impact the camera movement like it would as if you were sitting in there.
Yes.
Okay. So like I'll go see.
Oh, that
you can see when the dad and the mom step in, you actually have like the shocks and struts that are moving there. And that's not something that's free. Like they physically had to do that motion in the camera.
Of course.
And that is awesome. Love it. Love it.
I have great memories of taking Buzz and Woody camping. Like just being in the RV with the toys is going to be great. I like that location a lot. Also, I just like when movies have some sort of a confined location and everyone's kind of cramped a little bit. Like, I'm just excited for that.
Oh yeah, I think like TV shows are good when they're like that. I feel like movies are great when they're like that. You're right. I like when things are more constrained for sure. I totally agree.
And you are gonna kick yourself for not knowing Maddie McGraw, she was in Cars 3.
She was Cars 3. She's the one that says lightning. But we were talking about if she exactly. But we were saying if she had voiced Bonnie previously.
She hasn't.
Okay, so. Yeah, now we're right that so now we can all say we know that it's the first time that she's voicing Bonnie officially, but we still don't know if it was in like one of the other trailers. I can't remember.
And I just realized the beginning here, this shot, another rescue mission.
You're right. So Toy Story 4 subtitle is a rescue mission. But how gorgeous is this?
It's unbelievable.
There's RC's little antenna down there, you saw.
Oh, RC.
Yeah. So down here you can see his antennae.
But the lighting with the rain, right there.
Look at the water hitting off of his shoulder.
And how the water is on his plastic hat and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Julie, you go, and then Dan, you go.
Yes, sorry, just the water droplets on like his plastic hat and everything. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, for sure. And then Dan, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, imagine if A Bug's Life was made now, like with the rain scene.
Oh, holy cow, yeah.
Like it has come so far.
Absolutely. So again, when we were there, and look at this, he's even lunging forward, and as he's lunging forward, he's impacting rain coming this way, and the way that it's bouncing off is like proper physics here. How awesome is that? But yeah, at the beginning of our first session was about the history of Toy Story 1 through 4. We're going to share that interview. But Bill Reeves shared that the rain in this opening sequence with the rain is they blew almost the entire effects budget on that. And I shouldn't say they blew it on that. It was planned, but they spent it on that. What was that?
Worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks amazing. And they talked about the fact in Toy Story 1, that part where he's supposed to, Sid gets the big one, the rocket, and he's supposed to go outside and it starts raining. They're like, we couldn't do it. So we just had to have hand painted like rain coming down the window to signify what rain would be like outside. Because we originally were going to have him already be outside, but we couldn't do it. So,
and there's really not a lot of water at all in any of the Toy Story movies. I mean, 3 has the most with they spray them with a hose and they're in the rain at one point, or Lotso is in the rain. But
that's true. Yeah, with like Big Baby and all them.
Right? Is this the most water at all in any Toy Story scene? Like it's so
gotta
cool.
be. Yeah, it's gotta be.
Because I ruined a Buzz Lightyear by taking him swimming. So, like, that was the first thing across my mind is don't get him wet. No.
Yeah, I mean, even Woody, he's so classic. You don't want to get him wet either.
No, he doesn't care.
Yeah, amazing what these have been through, and they still look as good as they do.
I know.
True. So, yeah, I like that little shot with the old thumbs up there. He's going for it.
With giggle.
With giggle, yeah. And then, so we've got him loading in. This is going to be a big jump for you and Duke. Me. And then here's your other amazing shot of the antique store.
I love it.
Yeah. And I'm sure already right here, I haven't gone deep enough into this, but I've got to dig in. I'm sure these are like somebody's boots. And I'm sure this is some sign that references something. And this is probably a platinum record of somebody's, or something like that. But yeah, like this is just amazing. I think of like, they talk about like one of the intro scenes, like the gas station scene with, where Buzz and Woody are first lost at the gas station. And they said there's like 7 or 8 lights in that scene to light. How many thousands are there in this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not only all these little under cabinet ones, but all the lamps throughout, all the different tones that are coming in. Oh, I love it.
You know what, though? That just makes me think of before Coco in the theaters when hey, we're the filmmakers, and look at how many millions of billions of lights are in this scene.
Yeah.
Like, is this going to be the scene? Look at this. We're going to see this later in the movie, but look at it now. Look at all these lights. Now, you don't go to the bathroom. You'll miss it. Right?
You know what's funny is they didn't really talk too much about the lighting in this. Versus how they really did in Coco. Like they leaned into that, you're right, in that session. And so in that, even in that Coco session when we were there, they went out of their way to tell how many lights there were. There's like over 1 million or something like that. Mm-hmm. But they didn't talk about how many are in here. But you're right. I wonder if they're going to do that again. Do you guys think they're going to do that?
I
hope they do. I think it's really classy when they do a little intro like that. Maybe not talk about the lights, but just like, hey, welcome. Thanks for supporting. This franchise means a lot to us, and we hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
If it was that long, I'd be great with it. it's when I mean they did it for Mary Poppins too.
Yep.
Mary Poppins 2 also. So they like I'm here watching the movie. You don't have to convince me to see the movie. Like I on one hand I understand like you want people to be respectful during the movie, but on the other hand it's just I'm ready. I'm here. Like just show me already.
Well, and that's what was confusing for people in Coco if they saw it at the beginning is they said now enjoy Coco and then it went to
Frozen.
No,
Frozen.
Yeah.
Right. Like they did it in Incredibles 2 though as well.
Right. Enjoy Incredibles. Here's Bea. What?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if they do that. I do kind of hope they do, just because especially this is like Josh Cooley's first one.
That's true.
Which by the way, if we're talking about Josh Cooley for a quick second, one of the really cool things about the Bo Peep Signature Collection toy, it's the first toy that somebody has authorized that's not John Lasseter.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the signature or the
certificate of authenticity. Yeah,
Do you guys have her? Is she right behind you somewhere?
She's
She's
downstairs.
Oh,
We do have her.
Did you want to see her?
I was hoping, but you don't have to leave again. That's fine.
Yeah.
We have a lot of other stuff.
There's the highly coveted Disney Store
That's
bunny.
a Disney Store bunny.
Because he's discontinued.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah. You think he'll be back, Dan?
Yeah, I think that it was a recall, and that they're going to make their whatever they need to do to fix him, and then he'll be back.
All right. He just did a really terrible job at being a toy, and
Yeah.
Hey, that's something that they haven't explored yet in the Toy Story film, but they were going to in the old story of 3 is the whole recall situation.
Oh God. Okay, now you're gonna get me on another tangent because yes, that would be amazing. I really, truly would love.
I'm sorry,
Toy
what Marco
Story
said.
5?
Plush Rush Recall.
Plush Rush Recall. Yeah, that would be so cool. Like having a
They've
toy.
explored every theme of a toy, but they haven't done recall yet.
I'm sorry.
They were going to.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, boys.
Okay, well, I'm listening.
Small Fry.
oh, sure.
Oh, right.
Someone was recalled.
It was Roxy Bloxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they reference being recalled. But I'm talking about like one of the toys, like an actual like character that we get in the movie being recalled.
Right, like they went to a. It was like they went to a processing facility and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be. I mean, how is that relatable? I'm never gonna get recalled.
No, but I
realized that.
But I've had a toy that like was recalled, and I was like, "Do I send it back?" You know, I
Yeah.
remember like it was something. It was like, well, there's even like that.
Lead paint and stuff.
Yeah,
Some
the
of our
lead
toys.
paint. That's
Your
right.
sticky hand, it
That
wasn't-
was a big thing. Lead paint, like some of our like Matchbox cars and stuff.
No, there was even in the Cars characters. Sarge.
Oh yeah.
Sarge was recalled.
Sarge had one of the original Sarges. I think the Desert back.
It was the Desert Storm car or the Desert. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Dan's right there. He's got all those
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just wondering why that was recalled.
because it had lead in the paint.
Lead paint.
But why that one specifically?
Blending it, have you, Dan?
It was
Must
because
have
of the
been.
color green that they used. They for some reason added lead to it. I think it's probably because it was a matte finish.
Interesting.
Toy Insanity is saying that RC was recalled as well. I don't remember that.
I don't either.
But that's cool.
Not for RC, but you know, for.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna zip back over here. We've got to the trailer. We've got "Let's Kaboom." Isn't that what he says? Or yeah, "Let's Kaboom."
That's the thing.
Let's kaboom. So they. I'm sure
I
there's.
love some new characters. I just really hope that they live up because so far, Duke Boom, Ducky, and Bunny and Forky, like they're just already classics to me. Like I just really hope they deliver.
Yeah, and well, did you guys notice that it looks like Woody's pull string got stuck, and
No,
that
he
this
tied onto
jump
something.
is not going to go?
Wait a minute, or is that just the zip line?
He's tied
Oh,
onto something.
I think that's Woody's
back
pull
there,
string.
see?
It's attached to him.
hang on.
Shot. There you go.
Oh no,
No.
I thought it was his pull string.
I think this is the practice. I think this is like the practice session for like that big one that we see in the other trailer where he's like jumping over the carnival.
Got it.
Mm.
But I like how they bent the license plate to use it as a ramp, or it was already bent.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so I think then like they catch and then they go back. Okay, so then you've got the cabinet. She's locking that up. How do we get that key? I got an idea. Plush Rush. Oh yeah, now you're talking.
He's in the cabinet.
You're saying they were in there?
No, I'm saying you were right though. Forky is in the cabinet. They're
Well,
trying to get.
Yeah.
according to this trailer, but they could have taken that line from anywhere. And
That's
put-
true. Yeah.
But I mean, according to the other shots though, like you showed,
It does look like he's
They're
in a
definitely-
cabinet. Yeah.
inside
Yeah.
of the cabinet.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm sorry. I might be the only person who is not a fan of elderly people being attacked in the face. I was concerned. I was very glad they undid it, I guess. in
Well,
the-
because it was just like their imagination.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you don't know that.
It didn't. I didn't love that either because first of all, that breaks all the rules that we know of Toy Story.
Yeah.
Secondly, it is a little bit over the top for a Toy Story movie. But then
But
Like,
then these guys are kind of over the top.
well, yeah, and this creepiness, but I mean, over the top isn't like a little, I don't know, a little out of control, but like, but the fact that that it is just like kind of an imaginary scenario, I'm like, okay,
All right, okay, you can do.
Yeah, I wondered if people were going to be concerned about that, because like, if, let's just say, in my mind, I went as far as saying like, she had it happen, and she would essentially like tell people, and then they'd be like, "You're old, you're loony," and then they're going to throw her in like the psych ward. I went hard on it.
You went far.
But I guess, I mean, they broke the rules in the first Toy Story with Sid.
Yeah.
no, they did, but that has to be to a minimum.
Correct. It would be
their interaction with humans. Like if they had a film and they were doing this all the time, and they were jumping on people and attacking people, and like people saw the toy world too much, it would kind of ruin the effect. With Sid, it was very minimal, and it was him in the backyard. Nobody else was there. I don't know. I feel like you have to keep that stuff.
I totally agree. When you said that it was like extreme, if there's two characters that would do it, wouldn't it be Ducky and Bunny, like the wild, rough and tumble carnival toys, though?
Oh,
absolutely.
Sure. But luckily, it's
just
not
right, exactly. But yeah, I wondered if other people were going to be concerned about that too, because it was shocking at first. You're like, what's happening?
Yeah. So this was animated by Victor Navone.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned that at the beginning, right?
Just so
yeah.
You
I'm sure it's a lot of fun to animate.
Oh, absolutely.
How she spins. And
yeah. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh, am I supposed to laugh at this?
Well, it kind of reminded me of the old lady with the gun in Ratatouille.
Totally.
Yes, and you know what? I saw a couple comments about that today.
Oh, really?
Yes.
This lady's not as short as that lady.
No.
The other lady was like short and stocky, but she definitely still has, I mean, I guess what old lady, when you get really old lady, like, doesn't have like the poofy hair with the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Well, what reminded me of it is just kind of the jarringness of an old lady doing something unexpected. Like when I first saw Ratatouille, and she's just like the sweet old lady, and then she just busts out this gun and starts going at it. Like that kind of reminded me of this type of kind of
thing. Yeah. Oh,
now we see Giggle again.
Yep, Giggle's there. And then we've got...
I did laugh at Buzz's response, so it did have the intended effect, I think.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the trailer. I think that we kind of talked about it. It's a lot of fun. Somebody said that there was the guitar from Coco in the background. I actually looked at it. I don't think it is. I looked at it pretty darn close. The one that's like by the lady's feet. It's
but
like
it is in the carnival.
Over in this corner here. Yeah, it's definitely in the carnival. I feel like that one might be the one that like Chuckles is playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little ukulele there.
Yeah. I kind of feel like maybe it's the one Chuckles was playing, or that they use in Hawaiian Vacation, where he's like doing like the beat on the back of it. We'd have to look that one up, but it's not the Coco guitar.
What kind of spice is that in the corner to the right? I just saw that.
Where's that?
It says some kind of spice up in the right corner.
It is certified.
Oh, certified. Okay.
Oh no.
Creamed
spice.
Hashtag spice.
It says pure underneath it. Pure creamed spice. Gross.
That is too funny.
Oh, that's funny.
They really should not sell food in an antique store.
Okay. Yep. Here's another one. So Pixar Freak. Did you notice the bio containers in the bottom right? So right here are like the bamboo steam buns.
With that many props in an antique store, you got to imagine they were used a lot from their library.
Is this the TV from Ratatouille? Or maybe even Buzz, where he's watching the first commercial?
Could be.
No, it's not that. It's not the Toy Story one.
Okay.
It might be the one that crushes Buzz in Toy Story 3. Maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, some of these things might even be like Bao inspired in the house, like some of this, like the Chinese lantern and stuff. But yeah, there are tons in there. If you listen to our most recent podcast again, you'll hear at least, I think there's like 15 of them that Craig Foster talks about. Again, not locations. He's just saying, we packed that antique shop because we had to. We have 10,000 items in there. So if we're going to have to pack it, we don't need to build all these. We need to be reusing our existing pieces. So that's where I was saying, oh, here we go. Marco is sending over the TV from Ratatouille already. I love it. It's not it.
No. He also said that the lady is a Skrull, which I also thought of that.
Really? What is that?
What a strange thing to think.
Captain Marvel thing, because like that was also a jarring moment with an old lady, and so it's funny we both thought of that.
It's a shape-shifting alien.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Or the trailer. Well, anyway, there's an old lady that she whacks in the trailer. So kind of just reminded me of that. But that's what Marco's bringing up.
Awesome. Okay.
All of those Easter egg hunters like Crazy Nate and all those guys are going to have their work cut out for them, is what you're saying when the DVD comes out.
Oh, absolutely. They already said you're going to want to get this one. You're going to want to freeze it on all the scenes and just go to town, because they're like every shot has multiple. So it's going to be very exciting. So what do you guys think? Did we cover off on the old trailer as well as some other fun side conversation?
Man, I think we did.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. It was a blast. Thanks for jumping in and helping out as well. We always appreciate the opinion, and happy to see that the people in the chat, a lot of them already knew who you were as well. So
yeah,
we're only half famous with Disney Pixar fans. So I was glad to see a couple of you guys.
Well, likewise. I mean, we just have a Pixar website, so that's who knows us.
Yeah. Well, I know you, and you're so popular. Everyone's trying to get on your show.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah, they have a line at the door.
That's right. So, all right. Well, thank you again, everybody. I really appreciate everybody sticking around.
Oh, someone's asking our favorite Pixar movie.
All right, we'll go through and answer that question. We'll ask that all around. Ashley Gettings. Ashley, you're always coming in near the end of these things.
No, she's been here for a while.
Oh, darn it. Sorry, I missed your earlier comments. Ducky and Buddy seem to be pretty chaotic characters. Yeah, that's when we were talking about earlier. Oh,
yes.
Yes, and okay, so here, Marco is sending over now the Toy Story 3 TV. And no, that is not it either.
Well then.
All right, Dan, what's your favorite Pixar movie?
Toy Story. And
that doesn't sound very Toy Story.
Toys? No, I say it like that because I know that people are going to say which one. And I'm just going to lump them all together, okay? And that's my final answer.
Okay.
Oh, that's why it's the long Toy Story, because it's all of them.
With the long, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
That's kind of cheating. I don't know if I'll allow it.
That's why I was hesitant with my answer, but it is what it is.
Toy Insanity is saying Toy Story 1 as well. How about you, Jonathan?
I bet you could probably guess.
Toy Story?
Yes. Well, I don't have to say the long because we spent 2 years looking at every shot and finding everything. Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to watch it the same way again after that, and I've watched it 100 times before that. So
yeah.
For me, if people really want to know, it's pretty much the order they came out. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah. And 2 is very special as well. They're special in their own way.
They are.
But you're forcing me to pick. I have to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you.
Oh gosh, favorite Pixar movie?
Favorite.
Can I just say my favorite? Okay, fine. Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2.
Yeah, I go back and forth between the first and second so much.
Oh man, I'm going to diverge.
You
Mine's not a Toy Story one.
Oh, well, that's okay. Yeah.
Wally.
No, mine's Coco, followed a close second, MU.
Yeah, it used to be Brave, and then you change all the time, so I can't trust your opinion.
I do, but Coco and MU have been for a little bit. Those are the ones I can literally watch like 10 times in a row.
Coco quickly, usually with new Pixar films, it's like, yeah, that was great, but it will never be this, or never be that. Or I grew up with Monsters Inc. It's been around since my childhood. So how can a movie that just came out be as that? Like Coco instantly climbed to my like top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So
Coco,
I can really feel down that.
Yeah, Coco hit it out of the park for me.
Yeah, it was amazing.
What about it specifically? Just, I mean, I know we're going over time and everything.
Yeah,
no. There is no time now. If anybody wants to hang around, we're just doing Pixar talk.
It literally, I don't know. It was the story. It was the music. It was honestly a lot of it was
the music. You said the music and then the visuals.
Yes, it's visually stunning, but the story, but also the vocal cast, I think was so incredible.
It was.
I loved Miguel. I mean, oh my gosh. And I loved learning. Like I learned a lot about like the Mexican culture and stuff. And I don't know, it literally, I felt like Coco changed my life. Like it was like such a beautiful film. I think it'll always be my number 1.
Wow. Okay. You hear that? She's saying it. She always thinks it's going to be her number 1.
Let's see. I really love it.
We'll check in a month. And
and then MU is just so fun. I mean, I love MU.
MU's great. We talk about it on here a lot. It's because it has a high replayability for us, because it's not one of those ones that's like so heavy. Like I love Inside Out. I mean, you know how much I obsess over that movie. We have Bing Bong stickers, like the giant, it used to be back here where the cabinet is. But I love that, but I can't watch it all the time because it's so darn heavy. I mean, if I see Bing Bong fade one more time, I can't take it.
Well, that's kind of how I am with Good Dinosaur. Good Dinosaur is the Pixar film that makes me cry the most. And most people are like, what? But it does. I sob. Like,
right.
We watched Inside Out last week with Peter, my 2-year-old. He started to tear up a little bit at the end when Riley's crying and the parents come and hug her.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, can we? It's almost over. It's okay.
It's how about if we have to say our favorite, like this doesn't apply necessarily for Julie, but how about for you guys if you have to say your non-Toy Story favorite film? Pixar.
Oh.
Pixar film? Okay.
I could say Monsters Inc. That one's my second. My second is pretty easy for me. It's always goes right to Monsters Inc.
Okay. And you were saying the same thing, Jonathan?
Yeah, you stole my answer, Dan. I saw that 7 times in theaters, and I was, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. Like everyone knew I loved it and kept taking me. I had a denim Monsters Inc. jacket I wore every day. Like,
sweet.
So many great Monsters Inc. memories.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and the movie stands up too. Like as a film, it still stands up. But it's mostly the memories that are connected to it that keeps it at so high on my list there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that definitely, to me, the music in that one is one of my absolute favorites. I love, like Dan was talking about earlier, the jazzy feel of it. We've got a lot of people like Ashley saying Inside Out came out a few months before she moved to San Francisco, so that has special meaning. Disney Guy 700, Toy Story 3, The Saddest, Toy Insanity, Wall-E, Mr. Petey Disposed, A Bug's Life. I love it. We've got, of course, Pixar Freak's favorite is Coco. That's no surprise. Then Toy Story 2. We've talked about that before because it's like a blend between your favorite and my favorite. If I had to pick one, that's a non-Toy Story one.
Toy Story series, yeah.
Oh, this is going to be hard. It's going to be Wall-E.
You have to do it just like all of us to go through this pain.
Or Ratatouille.
Okay, so you said Inside Out, Ratatouille, or Wall-E. What do you guys predict it's going to be? It'll give me more time to think.
Oh, you have to think of it still?
Because I'm debating.
Okay.
I have an idea. Should I say it or do
please. Yeah, please.
Oh, I think you're going to say Ratatouille.
Okay.
Did you give me 3 choices?
You can have as many as you want.
Wall-E, Ratatouille, or Inside Out.
Well, that's what she says.
That's what it's going to be.
You think it's not Incredibles?
No, it's going to be Wall-E.
You think it's going to be Wall-E?
I think it's going to be Wall-E or Inside Out.
It's Ratatouille.
What? I don't know you.
I do.
Thank you, Dan.
All the year,
20 years.
like 4 a.m. talking about stuff.
That's correct.
Hold on. Hold on.
That's it.
Oh, okay. All
That's
right.
it.
He can't take it. He's walking off.
Well,
So we've got Oof Oof that says they love the Good Dinosaur. I love a little Good Dinosaur attention in there.
mhm.
Incredibles, the music is amazing. Alexander Saunders, yeah. I mean, The Incredibles is amazing music too, but you can't beat that jazziness of once you hear, I mean, it's just immediately you're happy.
Right. So here's what I had to grab really fast. As long as we're going into overtime.
Please.
I've been asked what my favorite movie is so many times that for our podcast, we did an episode where I talked about all my favorite movies in order. Jesse did the same in a different episode. And so I have a pyramid. Sorry, that's probably super loud. A pyramid that I drew because 3 tie for me. And 1, 2, and 3, I could do Toy Story in order. It's on my Instagram, which I guess you tagged or something. But yeah, look at that.
I remember you had said that because it's almost too hard to to pull one.
Great movies, right. So you said you had listened at some point. So I couldn't choose between a handful, so I put them in there. Of course, I put my own movie as well.
Live action Toy Story, yeah.
I don't know if it's a good one. I don't know if that counts, but yeah, that's what I had to do. I can't put things in order, but I can put them on tiers.
I like
That's a good
because
idea.
especially when you're rating Pixar movies, there's so many that are so great. And like when you rate them, it's weird to have one over the other. Like it's on my list, say Ratatouille is number 4 or 5. That's so far for me when I think it's such a great movie.
Yeah.
It could be my number 1 for the day, for all I care. Like it's a number 1 movie to me. But when you have to put it somewhere, some of them will naturally have to be like for Cars. Maybe Cars will be number 7 or 8. Maybe it will be 6. It feels weird to put it that low because I love it so much, you know?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, then it's going to be like basically like for Dan, it'll be like Toy Stories, and then it'll be like all the other Pixar films, and then
Exactly.
yeah, I mean,
So it'll be a funky, weird pyramid, but
yeah, it's the very
including other movies that aren't Pixar, it'll be really cool. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So we said, and Ashley is pointing out, we asked the other day about what was if you could only watch one short film for the rest of your life, you could never turn on another Pixar short film, what would it be? So let's ask that question here too.
Oh man.
Mine is easy. As much as, like sometimes I say like, and I even posted this in the question that maybe your favorite isn't the one you'd want to watch repeatedly, because sometimes like I love WALL-E so much, but again, it's a really heavy movie. You can't watch that all the time. So it's also the replayability factor. But in terms of the shorts, there is no question at all. It is Presto all the way.
Mhm.
It's not only visually my favorite, the timing, the music, the voice of woohoo of Presto and or Alec, I should say. Everything about that one I absolutely love. It's Looney Tunes, and I love Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Our son would pick Bao. He loves Bao.
Yep.
Which
makes no sense. I don't get it, but
yeah, he loves it.
I mean, I understand how you could like it, but I mean, as a kid, like, what do you like?
He loves it. He asked me all about it, and I explained to him, like, she's swallowing her feelings because her little boy is growing up. And he asked me tons of questions. I explained it.
Deep.
He watches it. He loves it.
Just for someone his age to think that deeply about it that's interesting. That's cool.
Hello.
Well, it's because
Yeah, you got a special kid there.
Well, it's just because he doesn't have a fair upbringing in the sense that he is totally biased, and he knows that when we watch movies, we're going to stop and talk about it. I'm like, now look at the angle they chose here, and look at this background, how perfect this is. Like, you see these opposing colors? This is what makes visual interest.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not going to stand a chance.
So,
mine would be Lou. I would watch.
Lou would be the one?
I could
Oh.
watch Lou a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's got humor and it's got heart. And that's what I like.
So the thing that I love about Lou is
The colors.
the masterful way that Dave
Mullins.
I was forgetting. I was like, it's an M. Dave Mullins wraps everything together.
Mhm.
So you're having all this fun. You've got the crazy Christoph Beck score, but on top of that, you know immediately from one flashback scene to when you see JJ on the underwear,
Yes.
on the written on the tag, that you know what's happening, and that's creating all of his bullying and everything, and you see his thing. Like, to me, that's 4 seconds to make you understand the whole story. That's amazing to have one shot do that.
Yeah. So that would be mine.
Yeah.
Good answer.
And by the way, Crazy Nate here, you were mentioning Jonathan earlier, Crazy Nate with all those
Yeah, dude.
with all those
Work to go.
You're definitely gonna have some work to do in the antique store.
Yeah.
And he says Jerry's Game. A lot of people, I was actually surprised. That was, I would say, the number one answer that people said is Jerry's Game.
Really?
Yeah.
You're making me doubt everything I'm thinking.
Well, what is your thought here? And then
I didn't. When I saw you post that, I was glad no one was making me answer. Now, I think, I mean, I usually say my favorite is Lifted because I like the score and I just think it's the funniest. But man, Jerry's Game. I don't know if I can live without that.
So there you go. So Steve O'Shawn Lee Cup says it's too much for a young mind. Pixar is for adults, so that's why I'm bringing him along now. he'll be faster and up to speed. Is Jerry's Game the one with the old man playing chess? Yes, of course. So are you gonna? What do you think? I'll come back to you and see if you've solidified anything else or changed your mind outside of Lifted or Jerry's Game. But how about Dan?
I've been thinking this whole time. I'll tell you, the first one that came to mind initially was Piper.
That's one
but
of my
then
favorites.
I was going back and forth between that and Partly Cloudy.
Okay.
I love that one too.
Yep. So Ashley is also chiming in. We've had a couple people say Bounden, which I was also surprised, even in the post, how many people said Bounden too.
Mm-hmm.
But Ashley jumped in for the Birds, The Blue Umbrella, Partly Cloudy, Lifted, Presto. Yeah. So yeah, all of them.
They all have humor and they all have heart and they're all great. So
yeah.
And Toy Insanity said Toy Story That Time Forgot. And so that was actually a question that somebody else asked, and I said no, let's take it out. So
yeah, because that's a special.
Because that's longer than that. Tonto Solis is saying Bug's Life is a treasure. Absolutely. But that's not obviously short. That's obviously going back to the other one. And then, Steve O'Shawn is talking about Bounden as well. So Bounden, you said Bounds, but it's, Bounden.
Can I ask a quick question? I don't mean for this to go off on a 20-minute thing. We could keep this to 30 seconds. Quick thoughts on how Toy Story 4 might play in, how the shorts and Toy Story 4 can coexist.
You mean okay, so all the TV specials, the Hawaiian Vacation, and all those.
It takes place Bonnie's first day of school. It's right after Toy Story 3, and then this whole adventure happens. Where did all these other adventures happen in the short? Did they talk about that at Pixar?
No, and we touched on that a little bit in our last hangout, didn't we? Where we kind of talked about.
I know me and you had a fun conversation about it.
Oh, maybe that's just what it was
before you went there. So
yeah, they did not touch on it, and I didn't ask.
Oh, someone Disney Guys 700 said George and AJ. That's another one that Leo loves.
Yeah,
especially when he was 2 to 3. He watched that one over and over. That was a fave again.
For sure. But yeah, Dan, I think we had talked about it. We'll see if anybody else kind of agrees too. I think we said it was somewhere in between 3 and then obviously the specials, because we said when she goes over to Mason's house in Toy Story That Time Forgot, that seemed like a school friend, because she's coming over oh, Mason, all this other stuff. And this, she's going to preschool or kindergarten. So kindergarten. So it's when was that? So yeah, right. I don't
I don't know.
That's the first time I ever thought about it. I assumed it was everything takes place in the order it was released, but I mean maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, just because I have an idea of what happens in Toy Story 4. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to accidentally spoil anything.
Sure.
Then we'll just stop there.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
really quick. Whenever Endgame is out or the new Star Wars, everywhere I see, don't spoil it. Thanos demands your silence, and don't spoil Star Wars. every time they do that, it's because somebody dies. It's crazy. They make a big deal about not spoiling it if nobody died.
Oh, no, well, I mean, it's just like the ending. I don't think it's somebody.
Yeah, no, I don't want to know the ending either.
Yeah.
I just mean the promos, like from the directors, from the studios themselves, like saying, "Don't spoil it, don't spoil it." It's always because somebody everyone loves dies.
Hey, they don't.
That's my theory.
Spoiled, then they shouldn't be releasing the books a month ahead of time.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
The books.
I always have thought that was interesting.
It is weird. I don't understand why. Like we had Dan Giovanni and I had like a text going and a group text, and we were saying like, why don't they just do everything on the day of the release? Like, how cool would it be to see the movie, immediately go to the store and pick up some toys, and then get some books and go home and be like, yeah, and immerse yourself in it.
I mean, the toys are fine, but like the books and stuff, I've always.
Yeah. And it's mainly the Pixar films. There's always exactly a month. It's always May for June release. But the Star Wars novels and the Star Wars soundtracks and all that kind of stuff, none of that is released until day of or even after sometimes. So it's very much Pixar and Disney animation. They both do that.
Yeah. Oh, Star Wars, they keep it like in a vault.
Yeah, no.
Crazy Nate says it's profitable to piecemeal it.
Yeah.
So it's more profitable to piecemeal it. I remembered my other thing I wanted to talk about, the thing that I had written down here on this. And this it ties into the credits when somebody said, do you think they're going to have this post-scene thing?
Oh, that's right.
The epilogue. Is this the movie? Would this not be the perfect movie to bring the bloopers back?
Yeah.
Oh, to bring it full circle?
Can we do the bloopers?
You're not going to.
I want the bloopers.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, by the way, Mr. PD Dispost, you're getting an award here. So good night.
Good night.
It's 5 a.m. in the UK. You stayed up to say that. So congrats. You win the late night award. Yeah, Ashley says, I hope they do the bloopers too. And Toy Insanity, they want us to think that Woody dies. So maybe that's the case.
I think I always wanted the bloopers to come back.
Yes.
But now that there's been these great epilogue scenes, I think that would better fit Toy Story, especially if it's really completing, like a satisfying ending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although I remember it well when Toy Story 2 came out, and then in another month there's bloopers attached at the end. Like, I gotta go again. Like, they could do that. They could do the epilogue.
Yeah.
Wait another month or two, and then release the epilogue.
Or the Blu-ray releases have had those little 40 shorts these days too.
Yeah, those are never as good though as that when it was at the end of the credits.
That's true.
Because they're always like real short, or like they seem more manufactured than more natural when it's at the end of the film. Samuel Kelly, Plush Rush bloopers, please. That would actually be a cool short.
Yes.
Like them coming up with different things that they're going to try to do, but they always get like maybe foiled in their actions or something.
Mm-hmm.
There could definitely be like somebody asked earlier, I don't remember off the top of my head who it was, but somebody asked earlier if we were excited about like Lamp Life and those types of things that are coming to Disney Plus. I think anybody that's listening to this would say yes to that, right?
Oh, for sure.
And Forky asked the question.
Yeah. The Forky one.
The Forky one, I feel like it's just going to be like those 1.5, 2 minute ones.
Right. I feel like it's probably going to be like, Turtle Talk with Crush, where some kid asks a simple question and then Forky has to explain it from his perspective.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it certainly could. Yeah.
Or the other way around, where Forky's asking the question.
Yeah.
He's kind of he's the kid asking the question. Then you get this, funny answer, but then you kind of get his response from a Fork's perspective. That'll be interesting.
So Tonto Solis is the one that asked that. And then also Disney Guy 700, are the short films going away? We kind of talked about that, actually. Listen to, I think it's episode 64 of the Pixar Post podcast. We talked about that. We think for the time being they are, and we had additional follow-up that those are going away as well. So that's a post. So pixarpost.com, click on the podcast button, episode 64.
I should check that out.
Yeah. Pogi Joe says as well, I feel like they won't release bloopers because it feels a little flippant if they're having a serious ending. And that's a good...
agree, Pogi Joe. That was my point, Pogi Joe. I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Excuse
agree
us.
I love the bloopers. I just agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. I do. I just want them, but I do feel that that's correct.
Selfishly, I want them.
Yeah, I just want them. All right. That was.
I've seen them for 20 years. I think it's a lot of that is the nostalgia for you. You kind of want to see what they would do these days.
That's true.
Circles back to nostalgia.
There you go. That's the circle of life. And let's see here. We'll just answer these last couple questions, and then we'll finally wrap this thing up here. Oh, by the way, when I said I just want it, it's kind of funny. There's somebody that made fun of me because they asked me which one I would choose, and I said if I had a choice, I would choose the one I want. Which is like, well, obviously you would choose the one you want if you had a choice, and that was a quote that was written on a board. They made fun of me for that for a long time. What's the best Blu-ray with the behind the scenes stuff? Alexander Saunders is wanting that. I don't know.
I love Toy Story 2 special features. I feel like the special features these days aren't as in depth, and I miss the hour-long documentaries that movies used to have.
Yeah.
And I feel like Toy Story 2 has a couple of those longer, good documentaries. And then the WALL-E DVD had the Pixar story.
Okay, right. There's your answer. There's your answer for me.
I was going to say WALL-E because of the Pixar story, but that's on Netflix now. So you can just watch that.
I also love, I can't.
But yes, I know where you're going. Yes.
What else? What else?
A Day in the Life of John Lasseter is a great special feature too.
Oh yeah, that's on YouTube. You can see that.
Yeah, that was.
But which one was that one on? Was that on Toy Story 2?
No, that was later on. That was Cars 2.
Oh, there you go. That's right. Way later. Okay, so Jonathan, where did you think I was going with the WALL-E one?
Oh, well, I was saying the Pixar stories on Netflix. You said, but you're going to say, but not when Disney Plus happens.
Oh, no, I was actually going to continue on and why I think the WALL-E disc is so good. It was one of the first ones that you could get that was like a 3-disc series that had like a separate Blu-ray of just extras. And they had a ton of stuff. And the one that like I absolutely loved was all the sound design, where you got to see Ben Burt, the guy that created like the lightsaber noise and the blaster noises, and all those kind of things. Like he was doing the sound design and showing how he was creating the voices for WALL-E.
Cinematographer. They had a lot of extra.
Oh God, yes. The cinematography work was amazing in that one. That's the first film that like they really took the true, how would this look if it was a real camera and it was in an animated space, and they mimicked the actual lenses and the cameras. It's done all the time now, which is where you get that silky smooth bokeh that Marco was talking about from Pizza Planet Truck. But yeah, that was the first one. And like the rack focusing and like the quick zooms when Wally crashes into the doors and all the carts come piling up behind him is specifically the moment that is in the Blu-ray that I was like, oh, it's so beautiful.
But I feel like special features these days, I feel like they have them planned in advance. Movies come out so quickly on Blu-ray now, and that they're almost just cookie cutter. They're almost the exact same type
it's much more formulaic.
Yeah, with each release, you can kind of expect exactly what type of features are going to be, and they're all around 7-8 minutes long. But I do miss those.
Are on YouTube.
Yeah. I do miss the older documentaries, and because I being into film and filmmaking myself, I love diving deep into the process, and I feel like they're a little surface these days, which is a bummer. But hey, it is what it is.
I'm still happy to get them, but you're right. They used to be so far above and beyond other film companies, film studios, and now they've kind of came down to the other studios.
I'm glad you kind of see where I'm going with that, though.
Yep. All right, Dan, you wanted to know if we were going to hit 2 hours. We hit 2 hours.
We did. I also said happy 20th to Toy Story 2 this November 20th.
Whew.
It's pretty crazy.
That is wild.
20th this year for Toy Story 2, and then 25th next year for Toy Story.
Yeah.
And Mattel was telling me while I was at Toy Fair that they have special things planned for the 25th anniversary of Toy Story as well. So we got a lot of Toy Story ahead of us. 2 anniversaries coming up.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
If it means people keep watching our stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. We still have more toys to review and more things to dive into and look at and explore. Yeah. So I'll end it with this question, which we'll probably be able to fully answer this, or maybe not even fully answer it, but at least speculate more when we see the film, once we see Toy Story 4. But do you think that that this is going to be it for Toy Story franchise from a feature film standpoint, as well as from a specials? Is there ever going to be another TV special? Is there ever going to be another short like a Hawaiian Vacation or a Small Fry or something like that as well? What do you think, Julie?
I don't know. I'd like to think there could be.
Okay. She likes to think there could be. Jonathan, what do you think?
I think it'll probably happen. I think it might be another 10 years, but it'll probably happen.
Okay. All right. Dan, what do you think?
For feature film, and it really depends on how well this one does. I would say it's a good stopping point. Last time was a good stopping point, but now is especially a good stopping point because we've lost Mr. Potato Head. We've lost the original Slinky. I know he's been replaced since 3, but we've lost Sarge, I believe. Mrs. Potato Head, she's getting up. Estelle Harris is getting up there. I think it's just time to close it off, feature film wise. Now that they're introducing so many fun new characters that people are going to want to spend more time with, Forky and Ducky and Bunny, I almost guarantee you there is going to be some kind of short down the road. I don't know about a TV special, but definitely like a Blu-ray short and maybe another short, especially with Disney Plus coming. But I don't think another feature. But you never know.
No surprise. You and I are right on the same page. To me, the giveaway on the feature film is the fact that Tom Hanks was like, you could hear Josh Cooley, again, this is episode 65 of the Pixar Post podcast. You could hear in his discussion, he's talking about like having these discussions of how much Woody means to Tom Hanks. It was like, there's too many tells here. Like, why would he be so nostalgic when he's done all these things if he thought there was like this potential for all these future things?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a feature film, but I like to think that there's going to be the shorts and like the specials.
Yeah, I'm kind of there. I think that you're right between like Forky and Bo Peep and all them. They can continue this on. Mm-hmm. I think as far as the features, we're done. Crazy Nate has a great point though. He says, no, they will have more. They've invested too much in the park at Pixar Pier and all these other things that they've done. And and expanding Pixar, the area, the Toy Story Midway Mania.
You can stop. They're classics. They're not going to fade. They haven't faded in this amount of time. It'll take a while for them to fade away from public memory. You know what I mean?
There's only one animated Cinderella.
Even before Toy Story 4, like Toy Story is still so relevant. Like Buzz Lightyear is still the #1 selling toy at the parks and at the Disney store. Like, and that was before Toy Story 4. Like, it's still resonating with kids and it's still just as popular without needing to make movie after movie after movie. And like I said, with Disney Plus, that's the perfect platform if they want to do anything with these newer characters to continue on with new stories at all. But I don't think it's going to be very extensive.
Yeah.
Like feature wise. And
I miss some of that scrappy stuff though, where they would do like Hawaiian Vacation.
Yeah.
And, like those really like, cause Hawaiian Vacation, Small Fry and all those to me are just classics.
Partysaurus Rex, your favorite?
Yeah. I mean, don't mess with Partysaurus. I'd show you the poster again over here, but it's just, I love those. I mean, I hope that they're not over in any fashion.
But if they aren't over, they need to jump on it now because, like I said, I mean these actors, so many of them, they're up there in age, and you don't want them to continue on with these characters and just keep on recasting and recasting.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
You just
they already said Don Rickles. There's no way they could recast it. Estelle Harris, you're right. There's no way you're going to get anybody else that's going to yell like that.
Oh, no.
And I feel like if the Army Men have a cameo or Sarge has a cameo in like the antique store or anything like that in the film, they're going to be using archival recordings.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they've got him. They can just go, yes, sir, and that's good
Exactly.
enough.
So, and there's only so long you can do that for future projects. So it's working for this. It's almost a stretch for this one that they were making it work, that they were able to make this happen. Anything beyond this, it's like, okay, cut it off. we should probably just stop and maybe just focus on, if you want to continue with these new characters, maybe a couple focused on them. But like I said, if you are going to be doing any of these shorts or TV specials with this original cast, like, you got to do it. Do it now.
Yeah, exactly. Do it like a GPS or like SIRI, like that Apple assistant. I don't want to say it and set anybody's off, including our own.
Yeah,
but,
our HomePod's gonna start talking.
Yeah, but like, you know, where they have them repeat like all these words and phrases from a dictionary. Yeah, also just a funny side note, and then literally I promise it'll be over, is somebody's asking, will they ever make a real life Toy Story in a couple years like the new Aladdin? So what's hilarious is we're in the Toy Story history session. Bill Reeves, Bob Pauly, and a press person, an international press person, asks that question. I thought Bill Reeves was going to jump off the stage and like come at this guy, and Bob Pauly essentially was like laughing, like he was like, oh, oh, ha.
I'm so glad to hear it's a hard no.
Yeah, it was a hard no.
If that ever happened, I don't know what I would do.
Oh, I know. That would be rough. That would be real rough for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I'm glad they have the same feeling there at the studio.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, hey, they're the old guard, though. You never know where something might change along the way.
Well, hopefully I'll be gone.
Hopefully I'll be gone.
Well, there's a couple teenagers like 6 years ago that did it. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah. And
That's true.
some more teenagers making Toy Story 3. They're still making Toy Story 2. We don't have to worry about it. Let the fans do it. Disney doesn't have to.
So
There we go.
Exactly.
are you guys all going to combine, and you and the Pixarist and all them going to combine to make a live action Toy Story 4?
I'll just do the Bob Pauly answer.
So that is, I remember you saying like, that's like your number one question that you always get is people want to know, are you going to do 2?
No.
Yeah. Well, I'm not asking. I'm not asking. I know the answer.
You got to start filming when the carnivals come in the summertime, because you're going to miss your window.
Right.
You're right about that.
You're going to have to wait till next summer, so you better get on that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that about wraps this one up. Thank you again, everybody, for hanging out. It's 12:16 in the morning here. I'm sure it's later some places, earlier some places for everybody else. Hopefully Peter has gone to bed now, and you guys have yourself a fantastic evening. Thank you again to Jonathan Pauly from
Thank you.
Yes, JP and Beyond channel, JP Squared. Be sure to check them out on all their channels. And as I said before, it's just youtube.com and then /JP and Beyond for one of the channels. You can go through for everything else there. And then, of course, Dan, if anybody doesn't know you by now, geez, oh, Pete's, they should know you. So you're Dan, the PixarFan.com, and then you can get all the great information that's out there about your own personal collection and what's coming out for Toy Story 4 and all those kind of fun things.
My birthday is a week from yesterday, or well, now it's Wednesday here, but it's on next Monday. It's on Memorial Day.
Stop trolling for gifts.
Well, not for gifts, but I am letting you all know that the reviews will be coming. I might be getting lots of Toy Story 4 goodies. So
I know 3 of the things you're getting.
Yeah.
You hinted at them.
Yeah, not from us.
Not from us.
No. Yeah, I know what you're referring to. But yes, very exciting.
Yep. So cool. All right. Well, thanks again for everybody hanging in. Hopefully you guys had a good time and enjoyed some of this sidebar conversation along the way. Trolling for clout, real young Steve-O. There you go. All right. Until next time, be sure to stay tuned to PixarPost.com all week for the latest Pixar news. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.